Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second weekly of the Intermediate Strikers series. We're coming back with yet another group of the best players in the Chally to Omega range in Omega Strikers. I'm here with Kurikan on the cast. How are you doing tonight?
Hello, I'm doing great. We're going to be seeing very fun games, as in we're going to be seeing more challenger players play each other in the evolution of OSAS. because it's LSAS people plus Challenger people.
Yeah, this is like everything that you know and love about OSAS with a little spice on top. That's how I like to think about it. And speaking of spice, we're heading to Gate first. Definitely a chaotic map to say the least. How are you feeling going into this match? What are you expecting these teams to whip out?
I mean, the Gates of Obscura, very, very fun. I want to see a lot of Portal play, because obviously Portal play is really cool and very trippy sometimes. On the side of our blue team here, also they're going to be banning Finny here, which is interesting. And for the record, this is I think this is Hot Oats versus Jakar Bam. We have Frying Pan Man, Defgun, and Madlock versus the Gaslim, Kenzie, and Busty Biddies. And we're going to be seeing...
Oh, I was just gonna say we freaking love our Frying Pan Man. We were talking about him before we went on the cast, but definitely good cast on both sides. I'm not too familiar with a lot of the players on Chikara Band. Do you have any intel on them?
I mean, Chikara Band, I'm pretty sure Gasly used to be Datagast and Kenzie is just Kenzie. They both used to be OSS players.
Yes.
I think Gasly took they didn't take a break. They graduated after OSS, I think 7, and then Kenzie's just not playing the season because he's already Challenger. But they're both OSS level. Well, they're both OSS players, and I think they're both currently Challenger right now. So we're gonna be seeing a lot of and they're also really good synergy wise because they do play each other a lot. And I think the Jakara server. So we're seeing great synergy between them two. On the other side, Frying Pan Man, my goat. I think he's right now challenger level, even though he took a little bit of break. And as I said, that Gasly does score the first goal here. So yeah, a lot of synergy between these two, forward and midfield here.
Yeah, and I've played against Busty Biddies quite a bit lately in the comp queues. So they've got some schmoes too. Got some nice plays in the goal box. And yeah, I mean, already the Portal shenanigans are off to a start. We have level 2s across all of Chikara Band, but both of the forwards on Hot Oats just now reaching level 2 with Death Gun. But that'll be a KO right there. Kenzie finds the Asher Dash Punch, and it'll be a power play for Chikara Band.
Yeah, I think with the Awakenings here, we're going to be seeing a lot of kills just because Kenzie is able to just throw their primary out. And as I say that, Madlock scores another goal. Unfortunately, Busty Biddy's missing their strike shot, and it just goes in into the Ivy's Sentry. And as I said earlier, with the killing, you see that Kenzie everyone took Rapid Fire. I don't even know what the second the second Awakening was, but we see everyone having Rapid Fire, which means that Ivy's going to have a lot of control. Dallas is going to have a lot of more things to defend with since he is a very great hold it down character. You see a lot of damage being busted out in general just because he has more abilities to use.
Yeah, and I mean, speaking of, we've been seeing Gasoline whip out this strike shot, but that's not the only strike shotter on the field as Kenzie finds another KO on the Death Gun. What do you think of this Kai strike shot that Frying Pan Man is running right now as he desperately tries to defend his goal?
I mean, Frying Pan Man, I guess he might know the way because he's been doing pretty well defending the barrier as he just loses one unfortunately, but he's actually still holding it down pretty well against an Asher. So we're missing a lot of things, and especially since he has strike shot, he's able to intercept a lot of dribbles a lot better because he's able to just strike shot it there. As Defcon finds a second barrier, Kenzie gets another kill. Has 3 kills so far on the side of Chikara Band. We see a lot of kills coming come up. Do you think this is gonna impact the game in any sort of way, even though right now it's fairly tied up?
Yeah, I'm actually a little surprised. Frying Pan Man and Madlock do score the goal there through the portal in the reverse power play. These kills, they've been valuable. They are definitely not without benefit, but Hot Oats are still making the most of the situation. I've actually been really enjoying the flip passes between them. It's been really, really nice to see them willing to use such a valuable cooldown just to set up the team play rather than go for the solo win. And yeah, we're moving into now 2-1 here. Hot Oats 1 point up, but also a barrier down.
But now two barriers down as Gasly and Kenzie both team to find the second barrier on Frying Pan Man. And like all these angles, I just realized Kenzie has been finding the good angles even with core flip up. Like they're kind of getting unlucky with the bounces as that one doesn't go in. And Busty Biddy's having core flip up. Kenzie also having core flip, unfortunately deflected by Frying Pan. As Frenzy finds a 4th kill of the first set, killing Frying Pan Man here. As Madlock kind of just forgets to pop their glitch pop, and Gasly just sends it right in to tie it up at 2-2.
Yeah, and this isn't even a dasher with damage awakenings. Dasher, I mean, that's... You can't get more unintentional of a good pun than that. But yeah, no, this dasher doesn't even have damage awakenings. That's just how good the character is right now. And here goes Kenzie dribbling up the field once again, bringing those Asher dashes, using those strike resets. Everybody's sending it back and forth through the portals. More of a neutral state right now. Energy advantage is slightly online for Hot Oats as we're in the 5th point here, but Madlock burning that flip there actually does trade it. Means that Hot Oats will keep the energy advantage for at least another couple seconds.
Yeah, and Defgun burning their flip there, and actually thankfully getting the first barrier out here for Hot Oats here. And Kenzie looking a little bit low here as Gasly does about to have their core flip ready. And Kenzie getting low, getting staggered and sent to the other side of the field. Trying to find a kill here, but Gasly with a flip up, getting ready to set it up there. Busty Berry is unfortunately losing the second barrier. Let's see how well he can defend it with an X and an Ivy in his face as Gasly gets their core flip up. And we'll be seeing how this Atlas kind of just defends the barrier with an X in his face as Gasly unfortunately does burn their flip there and unfortunately finding no value in it.
Yeah, Kenzie and Gasly are doing a fantastic job keeping the ball forward right now. Busty Biddies now probably has all of their cooldowns up and ready to go, but they also are low in the stagger department. Deathgun been doing a bit of okiing back there. Busty Biddies does use the evade here to make sure they stay alive, but that means they can't grab that orb. Deathgun is just gradually whittling them down, but there's the Celestial intervention to make sure they stay alive. Frying Pan Man with Flip and Madlock about to have one on the way. A missed strike there means that the goal remains online. And Chikara Ban is still in it to win it, but still with no barriers. And there is the flip from Madlock to secure the set. That'll be Hot Oats going 1 here.
Yeah, Hot Oats, like, great job just keeping the core in control while Defcon was distracting Busty Biddies, making sure that they had no evade clear, or just no evade energy in general, just to build up a sort of defense against the flip. As Kai takes prime time here, and Atlas, I think, getting him on the Monumentalist. Do you think any of these awakenings can, like, potentially, like, very heavily impact the game? Like
I
right
mean,
now?
already getting that prime time on Frying Pan Man is a big game changer. That's a prime time rapid fire. Everybody was looking for that on this awakening start. But I mean, the rest of the draft is honestly nothing to sneeze at either. We have both energy awakenings heading over to Madlock and Kenzie respectively, and then Hot Shot on Estelle just means even more cooldown reduction as well as more scoring potential for her. So yeah, pretty much as you could ask for from both teams, but I think that's a slight draft win for Hot Oats with the primetime pickup on Frying Pan Man.
Yeah, Hot Oats using it like really effectively so far, as Frying Pan Man has been able to intercept a lot of these passes from Kenzie and Gasly as he's been using his primary a lot. But still, as I say that, no barriers have come down yet, and as I say that, I did cast the Curse of Defgun, getting the first barrier. Madlock flipping for it, unfortunately deflected by Busty Biddies here. And as I said earlier, just getting the rapid fire and prime time is like really good for Hot Oats, as they're able to just have a lot of cooldowns ready. And unfortunately, Madlock just kind of just puts it back in their own barrier for some reason. Defgun getting second barrier here, and Busty Biddies having their flip up.
Yeah, we do have 2 Rampage stacks now on Deathgun. That X is a little larger, but considering the kills that Kenzie has been getting, who knows how long those will stick around. Frying Pan Man is keeping the barrier alive for now, but there it goes down, an unfortunate bounce. But, I mean, a second fortunate bounce means that Hot Oats do not have any problems with their barriers going down, because that is a point floating right over to them.
Yeah, pretty good execution by Defgun, trying to just pick up the mishap bounce right there. And on the side of energy so far, Frying Pan Man has their flip up, Kenzie about to have their flip up as well. Frying Pan Man burning their flip, and Kenzie unfortunately also burning their flip, trying to catch it, and doesn't find any value in it.
Yep, popping the X Maximus here, as well as both ultimates actually come out, and they will be rewarded with a double barrier for it. Busty Biddies once again low in the goal box. Death Gun looking to secure that right now. Frying Pan Man will barrage away the core, make sure it doesn't go in. And the core flip to confirm it. That is another goal over to Hot Oats, a 2-point lead for them in this second set. What can these guys change? And by these guys, I mean Chikara Ban. What can they change to stand up against the plays that Hot Oats are pulling off right now?
I mean, kind of just playing a little bit more aggressive. I feel like Gaslim and Kenzie are not like finding like the appropriate times to get their like roll going. And like as I say that, like Kenzie kind of looks just like out in the blue, not being able to really do anything. And even though I said like they have a lot of synergy together, they have to like end up putting Kenzie out in front and like leaving him alone to defend against to play against a Kai that's like really good at like clearing stuff. So I think that's like one thing they need to work on. But on the side of energy, they're looking completely fine right now, especially Biddies and Gaslim are about to have their flip online. But on the contrary, Frying Pan Man is about to have their flip, and Deflin just wipes Kenzie off the map.
Yeah, a bit of revenge for all of those Asher dash punches at the start of the game. And now both of these goalies have nothing but air at their backs, and a cyber swiping Aimi in the face of that Atlas will secure another set for the Hot Oats.
Yeah, I mean, what can do? Aimi in your face, X in your face too. I guess the pressure that the X got from just killing Asher kind of just awoke in Busty Biddies, and unfortunately, Manats just was able to score there. X taking the big fish here means that he gets more size, and Atlas taking team player, Kai getting proto boost allows him to be a little bit faster and be able to have more of his speed. Ivy getting Seed Machine here, and Gaslim and Kenzie looking to pick something. Kenzie picks up the Prize Fighter, and Gaslim picks up the Spark of Agility. That's one of Spark so far. As we head into set 3 here.
Yeah, if Kenzie can get the KO streak running up again, which right as I say that, Kenzie does manage to start it back up. This Prize Fighter could really start to pay off, and already we're starting to see more of the stride that Chikara Ban had in set 1. This is a lot of that synergy that you were talking about, putting constant pressure up on the goal box, but Frying Pan Man is able to clear it out. Madlock and Death Gun now on the return offense, but Busty Biddies keeps the barrier up. Madlock still keeping possession here. Gaslim, along with the help of Kenzie, is able to get it out. Yeah, this is looking more even than we've seen this match in quite some time. It looks like Chikara Ban are starting to find their stride.
Yeah, and getting that second prize for a second is really actually starting to help Kenzie as they're being a little bit more aggressive. Frying Pan Man, unfortunately, kind of just lets the core slide right past them, and even burns the flip in the process to try to save it. And that's point 1 for Chikara Ban here, as they're looking to make a comeback here.
Yeah, and if they are able to make the comeback, I mean, I'm eyeing that spark that Gaslim just picked up, as Kenzie does go off, and that'll mean a Prize Fighter stacked down. But yeah, if Chikara Ban is able to take this set back, Gaslim does have those sparks to scale. I think there's still 2 left in the pool. Potentially could become the secretary of Sparkington City. And wow, there's just KOs all over the place. Kenzie immediately gets some revenge on respawn, and Chikara Ban are on a power play once more.
Yeah, that's kind of fortunate for Kenzie there, finding another kill to kind of get back what he lost. And as I say that, Death Gun kills Gatling with their flip up, which means that Autos are also heading into an energy advantage as well as a player advantage here, as they're looking to convert on the power play. Death Gun looking kind of low here. And unfortunately, Gaslim does come back, meaning that power play is over, but Madlock about to have their flip up really close to the flip actually, as Kenzie finds the 3rd kill. And a great glitch pop by Madlock sends it in past Busty Biddies to tie up the score at 1-1.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times as Aimi, you have to kind of predict those glitch pops, but if the goalie is pushed that far back into the goal box as Death Gun was able to get them, gives Madlock plenty of time to just react with that glitch pop and send it at a lot higher speeds than I was expecting. I guess that's just overtime for you, though. But that being said, it is Chikara Ban starting off with a strong offense here. They do immediately get a barrier down, and Frying Pan Man is forced up against the barrier time and time again. There is a KO onto Death Gun found by Gasleam, and another power play for Chikara Band. They've been getting a lot of these lately.
Yeah, I guess that comes with the killing aspect, and unfortunately they are not able to convert actually because they didn't get any bears out of it as Defcon comes back onto the scene here. And I'm pretty sure Malik and Busty Biddies both burned a flip there. I don't know when they burned it, but I think they burned it like before, during the power play to try to keep it on their side. But Kenzie with a flip up, let's see what he can do against Frying Pan Man. If he does get the chorus, Busty Biddies loses the first barrier here, loses the second barrier too, and Defcon just in his face. As another great glitch pop by Madlock sends it in past Busty Biddies, who was getting punched to death by Defcon, sends it in 2-1 with match point on the line.
Yeah, I really liked the way that Hottotes coordinated that offense there, because usually you would have the Aimi take the wall position there, have that X hold the out clear, but they just took the positions that they were in stride. The Aimi took an unconventional turret placement and it worked out. But as I say that, okay, that point went a lot faster than I was expecting. There's Chikara Ban getting a quick double barrier into a goal. They've tied up the set, and they have the chance to make this a reverse sweep.
Yeah, the potential first set here for the side of Chikara Ban. They've been getting a lot of value with the kills, I think, which is helping them get into this position of having just a lot of power plays. As guessing from a flip, killed by Defcon. Defcon with a flip as well. Defcon bursts the flip, passes to Madlock here, as they're looking to convert the power play. Gets one in barrier. Let's see Barry trying to hold it down as much as he can until Guessing comes back. Get the second barrier here, as Madlock trying to keep it on the side with a flip of Minnesota's Frying Pan Man. Portal flip, and Portal gets the flip of a Madlock, sends it in to give Hottotes their first win of ISS Week 2.
Yeah, I'm sure that Hottotes very pleased to start off the night like that with a 3-0 win in terms of sets. And yeah, they had a lot of good stuff going for them. I was a big fan of the flip passes and a funny turn of fate. Looking at these stats, you might think that this was Aimi Brawler and X midfield, with Madlock getting 8 goals that game. Yeah, that was just incredibly well played. But, I mean, we were talking about Frying Pan Man before the match. That man held it the frick down, matching saves with Busty Biddies and getting most redirects in the lobby. He was holding up his barriers like a beast. It's a pleasure to see him on the field.
Yeah, good game to both the teams here. Pulled out of a great start to head into second Swiss game. And yeah, Aimi Brawler, it's not even Aimi Brawler, it's kind of just Aimi midfield. Madlock just doing all the work. And yeah, it was a great game played by both teams. We'll hopefully see these teams in the future if they decide to get into bracket.
Yeah, and we will see more exciting games like that after we come back from a quick break. So don't go anywhere, stay tuned. And we're back. Second match of the night. It's the Power of Friendship versus For Flip's Sake. Two heavy-hitting teams and lots of familiar faces from recent seasons of OSAS. How are you feeling about this one, Kirikin? Any thoughts as we head in?
I mean, this is going to be a really, really funny game, especially since if you guys were here from Season 7, probably remember what Zero, the guy who hit Omega during OSAS. And then recently in OSAS 8, we have AJ winning with Boss. So you're going to see the clash of two recent OSAS top 3 finalists here. As it looks like the Power of Friendship will be banning out Estelle. How sad. Estelle is off the charts, and Zentaro getting banned out on the side of For Flip's Sake. And here we're looking at the first pick being Kai, as well as a hover from Asher and Kazan from both Wet Zero and Zero respectively.
Yeah, and I'm not surprised at all to see Rune show up in this game between Mr. Flambeau and AJ. Two incredibly proficient Rune players that love to play him even when the character is not necessarily optimal. It looks like we'll get to see AJ cook on the Rune this particular game. But yeah, if I'm not mistaken, actually all of Power of Friendship have hit Omega before, which is kind of crazy. This is the highest average ELO team that we've seen, to my knowledge, in ISS. And they are coming out of the gates heavy hitting already, grabbing a barrier right off the bat.
Yeah, and speaking of being Omega, the Power of Friendship actually is a team on Nasty. You should come and watch it on Mondays. But yeah, they're actually a really, really confident team because, as I say that, they're currently like really good. I think their standing right now is currently like 3-1 or 1-3, I don't remember, but they're still a really good team comparatively because they haven't played like a lot of like the harder like teams this season, so their start might not be great, but obviously their teamwork is very great as both teams have taken the team player. So I love the Power of Friendship being friends with everyone here, as they're going to be passing a lot on the Sony Village game.
Yeah, and I mean, we are about to hit overtime here, and I'm sure we're going to hit it a lot more times this game just due to the nature of this map. And when I see team player here, as the first goal is scored at an angle that I don't think any of these players were expecting to work. Yeah, I look at this team player, and I look at this Kazan, and I think there is going to be some absolutely... Yep, there it is. The Kazan can just do some stupid stuff with team player. We know it. We love it. That core is going to be flying fast even when it's not in overtime.
Yeah, just the core flying really fast, really, really quickly, just with a click of a button. And yeah, Zero just taking up this pick is going to be really, really hilarious, and we're going to be seeing a lot of these like crazy passing plays between both Zero and Flambeau here.
Yeah, and there's the Mako secondary out. Does get a little bit of multitasking with it there. Able to get some defense up, and with the help of a pillar from AJ, that'll secure it. I don't even know how that procced team player. Is that a thing with like Kazan dash? You strike in the middle of Kazan dash? Was it because he was like behind Wedo? I don't know. I'm getting into semantics at this point, but it is a power play now. Zero off the board for a brief bit of time. Core flips traded in front of Wedo's barrier, but he keeps it alive for now.
Yeah, I actually do not know whether or not that's a real thing. It probably could be just because he hits it with the tip of the Kazan, like top thing, because I heard there was a thing where if you hit it like a perfect like position, you're able to send it through really quickly as overtime takes place. And obviously we're going to be seeing a lot of like team passes and red cores as For Flip's Sake scores the first point.
Yeah, it looks like every single one of these points is just destined to end by an all-out team player scramble with the core flying at speeds that really no one can react to. Oh, actually, okay, now I know what it was that sent the core so fast. So team player, it applies like a buff to the ball until one of your teammates strikes it during like the time period that it's applied. And so it was a pass from Mr. Flambeau that allowed Sarah to proc that there. And it is both barriers down very, very quickly for Power of Friendship. and they are looking in quite a good position to get a 1-point lead here.
Yeah, both Flambo and Sarah both having crazy passing angles to just get it to one another and take barriers with ease here, and Wedo just backing everyone up. Being able to find those great angles to pass just makes it even harder to get it past everyone. As Sarah with a great read from Scrimmage here, just completely Kazan hooking it out of his reach and then just shoving it right behind him.
Yeah, the hook is freaking nasty, especially at such short range, because you can very easily just kind of section off the whole area in front of the goalie. And if you can, you know, read the goalie's strike hard enough, you can pretty much just get a strike ward, and then your own strike gets reset there. But AJ actually places a pillar that gets walked into by Flambo. That's a power play, along with open barriers here for Flip's sake. And they might be able to tie it up here as another KO comes out. There's the banish, and the core flip from Kashira will be the thing that ties it up.
Yeah, AJ is like really good at like finding those vanishing plays, and Adrian's just there to just shove it right in. And as they bring their core flip here, it looks like the Power of Friendship do have a small bit of an energy advantage, even though most of them are stuck at one bar. Scrimmage about to have their core flip up, and AJ about to have on their second bar, as both barriers on each of the opponent's like top sides have been taken.
Yeah, and one thing that we are seeing with this rune pickup that's a little unfortunate is you are always at the whims of where your teleport is placed. AJ's actually intentionally using it there to set up a self-pass, but sometimes it means you drop your secondary to place a pillar, and it sends you somewhere you weren't expecting. But nice passing plays there between AJ and Kashira means that this first set does go over to for Flip's sake. That'll be Kashira taking the set MVP. What are they looking for in this draft, Kirikin?
I mean, Rampage just came up, so I'm pretty sure Adrian's going to be grabbing the Rampage to just win with strikers against Weto, or even outmatch his opponent just by being able to strike it from a distance that people might not think is strikeable since they're not at the size of Rasmus here. But Kai, on the other hand, does get prime time, which means that they're able to control the floor better because they're able to just hit it and then be able to follow it up with a great strike and then be able to clear another angle, because the prime time cooldown is actually not that close if you compare it to being able to wait for the cooldown to happen.
One thing that I'm surprised about from that draft is Unstoppable floating all the way down to Wet Zero in 5th pick. It is really, really strong, especially into Rasmus here, which Kashira is playing. So I'm a little surprised that we didn't see a deny there from one of the forwards for Flip's sake, but I'm sure that Wet Zero is happy to have that under his belt. Means that he'll be able to keep these barriers up for a lot longer.
Maybe they know something we don't, but honestly, maybe Adrian and AJ will find a way to get past this Unstoppable Asher here as they're trying to look for the second barrier here. AJ about to have a flip up, and Adrian coming close to their flip as well. And Scream both of them actually getting their flip up. Very Banish means the core will stop there. And these passing plays are still looking crazy obsolete here as we do head into overtime here.
Yeah, overtime with barriers up on both teams, but a KO there found by Sero means that there's a slight advantage here to Power of Friendship. But, I mean, AJ and Adrian are holding strong here. It'll be a team player pass from Wedo that eventually finds it, but Flambo is waiting here with a flip to send it down to Sero. Oh my gosh, just everyone hits the core as fast as you could possibly go. AJ banishes it to stop the tempo there a little bit. And for the time being, they've got a little bit of a break, but there is still a barrier up that Wedo has under his belt, and there is nothing but air at the back of Skirmiche.
Yeah, Wedo doing really well to defend that barrier as he just stops the core. Great core stoppage by Wet Zero here. As he has the flip, and he just sends it to Sero, who hits it to the top side, past Skirmish for their first point of the set.
Yeah, it is just going to be... you've been pointing out the passing plays quite a bit here. I think they become even more critical in overtime, right? When everybody sends the core at this stupid speed, regardless of whether or not your team player gave you the buff beforehand, everybody is going to be hitting the core that fast. And as a result, whoever can be able to coordinate those fast-paced core movements better is going to be the one that scores the point. Here's a nice banish here from AJ, though. Almost finds a KO, but goes unrewarded for now.
Yeah, and as you said earlier, just being able to control your how good your timing is to just send the core wherever you feel like it past the goalie means that Sarah is able to find a great coordinated play from Weto to Sarah to score the second point for the Power of Friendship.
Yeah, Power of Friendship looking quite strong in this set, especially after losing the first one. There's a pretty good chance that they come back here, tie up the sets. AJ, though, is going to do his best to make sure that doesn't happen. Grabs the first barrier with Flip, but is low on stagger now. And it's not too long before Weto, Sero, and Flambeau back in triangle formation on the other side of the field, trying to take this second barrier.
Yeah, and AJ is doing actually like crazy well with the banishes and his double portal placements. We saw Sarah like get really low and like almost about to get staggered, and Adrian just wasn't chasing them down. And AJ with the great TP play to get the second barrier. We're just be seeing how team player will be affecting this as it's about to come into overtime here. As Adrian dribbles up the top side, flips, and Weto does defend it though.
Yeah, oh, what an angle there from Sero. That'll claim the second barrier. Both of these goalies now have nothing to defend other than their nets, and Sero is doing some fun dribble plays in front of the net. They lose control there, and AJ does grab a dribble there, but it looks like the pressure is still in favor of Power of Friendship for now, repeatedly sending this core at their whim. Sero dribbles it in front of the net, and the top spin catches it. A little bit of a mix-up there will secure the set for Power of Friendship.
Yeah, and this team player is doing so much work just mixing out the entirety of for Flip's sake and just sending it right into the top side. And Sarah with the first pick gets when we'll be looking to hover over Big Fish. And Big Fish is a very big thing for Kazan, especially since you're able to be a little bit bigger and your hook covers more radius, which means that you're able to catch more things and do more crazy things.
Yeah, and it looks like AJ is attempting to limit the options there, but this Kai doesn't really have any problems working around that. Plenty of dash awakenings there to get benefits from. Maybe AJ just wants the bonus secondaries. I think a lot of rune players would have gone for the Monumentalist that draft, but AJ is the rune expert, not me. So I'm gonna leave the runing to him. And we're already off to a heady start in this second set. Actually, third set now. Who am I kidding?
Yeah, as both top barriers on the blue side have been taken here, Sero just takes the barrier for free, and that Big Fish is doing a lot of work here, kind of just being able to catch their goalie on the top spin and being able to stun them. As they look for a passing play, and Sero with a great redirect to the top side, securing point one at 3.
Yeah, and that does mean that Kashira only gets one Rampage stack from that point. It's not too uncommon to only get one on Oni Village, because sometimes the enemy goalie is just a tough nut to crack and you can't really secure that second barrier, but certainly with those scaling awakenings, you're looking to get as much benefit from them as possible. A hook there will go wide. Flambeau and Weto doing some passing plays in front of their own net. Doesn't secure both barriers, but on the rebound, they will grab both of the enemy barriers, and a flip from Sero will be the thing that scores the goal. Power of Friendship looking more powerful than ever now. I mean, after that first set, they haven't looked weak for a second.
Yeah, being able to just use that team player really efficiently means that they're able to do a lot of funny and cool things with how they're passing each other really efficiently. And Weto pushing up with the flip here, like they're trying to get really aggressive. And Sarah has been finding a lot of these like crazy like chances to be able to score in scrimmage head, as he's been able to use, and even before in the second set he was able to just use Kazan really efficiently, and now with a lot more size, he's able to even do it better, really, because he's been being able to catch Scrimmagy on like a hurdle by using his topspin to catch him off guard.
Yeah, I do think that the offensive structure of Power of Friendship is just much more coordinated. I mean, at all times, they are in this triangle setup that allows them to take as much advantage as possible of those passing lanes. And there's just only so much space that for Flip's sake can cover. So, I mean, it just allows Power of Friendship to have the most influence over this game that they can. And that influence is going to secure them another set. If I had to guess, this will be another Cero set MVP. There it is. What's he looking for here?
I mean, he has the Flutter Flight. Like, yeah, he has 2 Speed Awakenings, really. I think he's going to go opt for the Flutter Flight. And this is a giant change-up because now he has a lot of speed. He's able to just dribble it out of anyone's hands if he ever gets his hands on it. And if anything, if we know from Kazan, he just has a lot of abilities. So he's just able to just steal the core and get along with it and get to rolling.
Yeah, and it is also going to mean that these fancy dribble plays that Cero has been doing with the red core are now actually going to be fully viable because Fireflight gives him enough speed to keep up with the red core. So he's going to be doing some ridiculous stuff in this set. But that being said, I do want to take a look at, for Flip's sake, and what they've got going on. Because I think that maybe AJ having all those extra banishes with extra special could be a bit of a game changer here. You pointed out earlier that AJ is really, really particular about his banish placements and gets a lot of value out of them. So having one of those off of kickoff, as well as more of them throughout the point, is going to mean a lot. And even though it wasn't the banishes that were the difference maker, it will be, for Flip's sake, that grabbed the first point of the set.
Yeah, being able to banish a lot of people was just this for anyone who wants to just keep it at a 2v3, or if anything, if they find a lot of value at 3v1 or 3v0, if he catches Wet Zero in the rotation and he just gets banished with nothing behind him. And these team plays again going crazy. Coco mentioned earlier that that they do get a buff every time they hit the core as they pass it to their teammates. And unfortunately, they won't be getting a teammate buff this time as their midfielder, Mr. Flambeau, goes out of commission here. And Cero and Widow just trying to find something to keep it alive as Mr. Flambeau comes back onto the board.
Yeah, and it's an energy advantage with Wet Zero having flip up and Cero with one on the way. But AJ with that Catalyst, it won't be too long before he's got another flip in the bag. And yeah, I mean, there's so much space belongs to Power of Friendship. Like, Kashira and AJ are not really putting a whole lot of pressure on this passing lane between Flambeau and Wet Zero, but getting the KO there means that passing lane can't exist for the next 13 seconds. So it'll just be Wet Zero and Cero. They do grab the barrier, but Cero gets caught by a stray pillar, and the Flambeau Wedo pipeline is back in full swing. They are... Okay, here we go. We have some AJ Kashira passing now in front of the net for the power play. They might grab a second point here. There's the banish coming out. AJ with the flip in front of the net. Gets caught by Skirmishe on the other side, but it's AJ's flip. They would grab the point.
Yeah, and as you mentioned earlier, the Mr. Flambeau Wet Zero pipeline, just being able to pass it right back and forth until they actually find a great opening for Sarah, just means that it kind of looks like Flipsync isn't like giving them, giving them a little bit too much space to work with as they're able to just send the core wherever they feel like. And maybe that's something they have to improve on. But maybe something does improve on if AJ keeps finding these great banishing plays that throw Mr. Flambeau in for a loop and not being able to convert on those pipeline plays.
Yeah, and we are starting to see more of those same style of plays come out for Flip's sake, which I think is giving them a bit of an edge in this set. They are 2 points up, and it won't be too long before they get this barrier down. Kashira is rocking 3 Rampage stacks right now. There's the banish defensively from AJ. And yeah, it does look like they're applying a little more pressure onto Flambeau and Wet Zero, so they're not getting those passing places freely. Adrian stalls out the flip, stalls out all of the abilities that Wedo has to throw at it, And that's a 3-0 set for Flip's sake. I mean, considering how dominant Power of Friendship had been the last couple sets, that's a huge win for them here. And AJ will take set MVP.
I mean, AJ going for the Spark of Focus here. I think he was trying to deny Wedo his second Spark, but honestly, he doesn't get Thomas Creator, but it's a good Spark deny. Pi opting for the Chrono Boost makes him a lot more faster. Being able to be faster means that he can put himself in better positions and be a little bit faster into getting to positions if Wedo wants to ever throw him the core anywhere.
Yeah, for sure. And I do think, you know, if there is a single spark that you want to pick up in this game, especially in this game, it would be Spark of Focus. And right off the bat, there's that banish off of kickoff that secures AJ a kill. But yeah, I believe it's about a 10% cooldown reduction when it's on its own, which is still, like, really good. So AJ's just going to have a lot more pillars and banishes to work with here. And already, they are looking quite strong on this offense. Better than they have all game, in my opinion. This is for Flip's sake in their prime.
Yeah, for Flip's sake, and as you said earlier, AJ is doing a lot of work just getting the banishes down and being able to just stop the core. And even just stop the enemy from moving as he does get banished. And unfortunately, he will get KO'd off the map by Mr. Flambeau as the Power of Friendship head into a very needy attempt to get the barrier done, and Adrian just does all the work as he just steals the core from Wedo and sends it in himself.
Yeah, a very nice Death Touch into strike there. Good read onto Wet Zero. He knows that the Flambeau Wet pipeline is continuous. It's a near guarantee after watching this whole game and for him playing in it. That he knew what the game plan was right there. And that does mean, though, that Flambeau and Cero catch their revenge at the start of this point. They will grab both barriers, and Skirmishe doesn't have anything to work with in the goal box now, except his abilities.
Yeah, being no flip there, along with having just a lot of passing plays, right, to come at him will be difficult, and that proves to be a difficult challenge. Cero just sends it to the bottom side, tying the game up. And right now, energy advantage is going to be on the side of the Power of Friendship as Wet Zero and Flambeau are about to have the flip, and here comes the pipeline yet again.
Yeah, but AJ is ready to respond with that pillar. Make sure they don't get too much benefit out of it, but it quickly gets cleared, and Flambeau and Cero are back on the prowl on the other side. Does pivot back in favor of for Flip's sake, and they will grab a barrier here for it. Energy advantage now slightly in their favor with both of their forwards about to get flip here. The banish comes out. Flambeau flips in front of the net, but doesn't have anything to get it around the little anomaly there that AJ's got. Kashira flips it here, uses the primary to kill, and then wins the strike war for the point. That is game point for Flip's sake. They are actually pulling off the reverse sweep here.
Yeah, reverse sweep is coming in clutch here, as they backseat that earlier. They weren't really trying to punish the Mr. Flambeau Wet Zero passing blind, and now they have it. It's working wonders for them, really. As they come to set point here, AJ will trade out a flip for one of the opposing side's barriers here, as energy tips into the favor of the Power of Friendship. As Cero tried to look for an opening, about to have flip here, but is a little bit low.
Yeah, and Skirmish. Oh, that's actually funny. The team player big Mako strike, just sending it at red core speed there. The barrier does go down though. Cero just with a lot of tools in front of the barrier, can't get around that man. Mako secondary here gets both defensive viability as well as buffing the teammate's speed. But Wedo and Flambeau back on their shenanigans here. The Mako burned as soon as Cero is within striking range. He's in front of the net. Burns the Skirmishe flip. The core is all in the control of Power of Friendship once more. They could send it wherever they want, including into the back of for Flip's sake's net. That's a 2-2 fifth set. We're looking at a 5th point here to tie it all together.
Yeah, point 5 set 5 is what we like to see on Oni Village. And yeah, let's see if for Flip's sake can stop the power of friendship and basically their best awakening as their name implies here. AJ with a flip up will be taking the orb to get his health back to full HP as both barriers go down on the side both barriers go down on each side of the teams here. And Sarah walking up gets blocked by Screaming here as Sarah is about to have their flip up.
There goes one down to the rune pillar. Oh wait, no, that wasn't a rune pillar. I have no clue what killed there. But for Flip's sake is now missing Kashira for a chunk of time. Sero flips here, finds the barrier even through the Mako secondary, and with that barrier down, and the flip from Wedo, that's power of friendship taking it. They nearly got reverse swept there, but what can we say? Friends come through on the other side. Fantastically played from them.
Yeah, the power of friendship. Just being friends with one another is the key to success here, as they've used the team player extremely effectively, being able to just pipeline it and then just shoot it straight at Sarah just so he can get a free 50-50 win. Well, not even a 50-50 win, but just to throw Scrimmage in a loop to see if he can predict the right side, and a lot of the times he has not predicted the right side, and just having the ability to just send the core wherever you feel like is just proves to be a very, very daunting task for the goalie.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that the goals in the stat line tell all the story that you need there, right? I mean, we watched the team player plays happen, but you can see that 6 assists on Wedo, 7 assists on Flambeau, and 10 goals on Sero. That very clearly tells you what their game plan was there and how good they executed it. And meanwhile, Skirmiche and AJ didn't have too many assists to their name. It was very much a more spread out game. It seemed like they were, spread out on defense. It was really well played by Power of Friendship to keep them in that position the whole game, keep them pushed back, keep the core under their control. I mean, it really does just go to show you how effective those fundamentals can be. If you keep that triangle up, you keep the passes going, and there's really nothing that the enemy can do to stop you. I will say, I got to give for Flip's sake some props here, because they did start to figure it out in the middle of the game. They started to control those passing lanes a little bit more, not let Power of Friendship get away with as much. And that's what secured them those 2 sets that they won and brought them up to game point. But at the end of the day, Power of Friendship really did show us what team players they were. And I think that was a well-deserved win from them.
Yeah, and that concludes Swiss set number 2, going in favor of Seto, Wysero, Mr. Flampo, and Wet Zero. Congratulations on their win. And we will be back after a short break. Stay here as we will go into, let's see who qualifies and who doesn't for the bracket stage of ISS.
We're back once more for the final segment of our Swiss stage here. We have Kidnapped versus Paying Off the Refs. Two immaculate names. And Kirakin, I know that you're familiar with a few of the players on these teams. Tell me your thoughts.
I mean, right now, like, we're playing against Ripstick and, like, some other people. And, like, oh my god, Ripstick. We got Cold Ramen 14. We also have Psyche and my beloved. And like these people, I've played them so much before, and like they're pretty good at the video game. And Cold Ramen, I think you guys know him from Gap Guys back in SAS 8. It's pretty chill. And Kidnapped being Edicam, Igulio, and I think Kazan. I've actually scrimmed with them before, and they're like looking to be really, really good. So just gonna see a great game today.
Their initials are EEK.
Hilarious.
Yeah, I've seen all three of the members of Kidnapped in comp before, and yeah, all three of them have pretty devious play styles. I'm looking at this draft though. This is some very nice draft maneuvering from both of these teams. So we saw the Era X pickup from Paying Off the Refs. But Igulio noticed that, denied the Mako away to complete the Mako Era X trifecta, so made sure that they couldn't get that goalie component of the team. Ripstick's not too upset about that, though. Ripstick is the Asher goalie man. This dude was playing Asher goalie even back when it was trash in OSOS Season 2, and he made it work even then. So this dude is no stranger to the Asher goalie, and we're about to see some cookery from both of these teams in this match. And kicking off here right away, we're at the Era X shenanigans. But as I say that, there's a double barrier, so actually forget the Era X shenanigans. We're looking at Kazan Juno shenanigans, if that's even a thing. Not a stereotype usually, but they're at it here. Both teams easily picking up both barriers, and this Kazan is already at level 2. A massive power spike essentially doubles the power of the character from the start of the point, and he's hooking all over the place. What can we say? This Kazan dude has a lot of buttons. Era X nearly gets the goal there. Flip from Cold Robin 14 back up to Psykeen is not enough to grab it, but was very, very close, and instead that's not even overtime. This is Hot Shot! This is a Hot Shot Juno start! Holy crap! Eddie Cam with the Hot Shot will be the one grabbing the first point there.
I mean, what is it with letting Juno through on Hotshot start? I feel like we've seen that way too much in OSAS and ISS these past weeks, so that's something I think that we should be a little bit concerned about, right? It's such a strong pick.
Yeah, I'm a little baffled that it floated through the draft, but I can understand, you know, that we're on Taiko Temple. Juno's not a particularly common pick here. So they probably had a lot of other things on their mind. But yeah, I mean, Hotshot Juno is sure to... I mean, I was talking about some devious stuff before the match even began, but that's just a devious character right there. 2 flips up, 1 on each side, but it is Ripstick who has the barrier advantage here. The Era X are doing a really good job of controlling the midfield here, though. Both of them just positioned, 1 on either lane, and Ripstick is backing up the X here. Really nice. It's the ideal offensive configuration here. The only thing that would make it better is if this Asher is able to actually walk all the way up to the midfield. But it'll be Kidnapped ensuring that they are not able to pull that off. Does actually manage to clear it for a second, but no barrier is found yet.
No barrier found, but the passing plays are looking solid from Cold Ramen to Zykeen. They send it around the secondary of Agulio for the second goal here, tying it up 1-1. And so far, other than like the Hotshot Juno craziness, it feels like paying off. The refs have the core control on lock.
Yeah, and I mean, many people would hate to say this, but Era X is a core control comp. It is not a kill comp. They are meant to control the core by like essentially aggressively sequestering the enemy team is how I would describe it. But there is a double barrier there for Kidnapped. Eddie Cam does have flip here on defense as well, but a well-placed strike and NATO from Zykeen and Cold Ramen will make sure that they even up that barrier count. Floats back over briefly. Kazan almost finds a KO there, but Cold Ramen is standing in front of the Taiko drum, gets saved by the bell. Zykeen pops the X Maximus here, but Agulio is waiting to strike it away. Nothing is found quite yet, but there is a core flip in front of the net now. Zykeen burns it, strikes it through Agulio, and that's a second point for paying off the refs.
2 points now, and again, it's the core control that's really coming in here, along with the meter being built up for Cold Ramen and Ripstick. They'll have some defensive insurance, and I think that they'll have enough offensive presence if Zykeen can pressure Agulio.
Yeah, I do think that the X into Mako matchup is a lot better than a lot of other brawlers. Because, I mean, a lot of stuffing brawlers really struggle to get it through all of Mako's strikes because she just has like a million strikes. But X actually has a decent amount of tools to keep a distance from Mako, get rid of her secondary with all of his stuns, and then he also just has a lot of strikes with his ult, his strike reset, right? So I actually think that this matchup is relatively even between Zykeen and Agulio. But that being said, the matchup that we're seeing play out right here is the Kazan Juno into Asher. Ripstick holds it down strong. That Asher primary is a little bit of a disgusting ability. And for now, Ripstick will go free in the goal box. This dude already has his primary back up.
And Zykeen's just constantly on top of Agulio. The barriers have opened up, but it's Hotshot. You can't forget that. Eddie Cam with the snipe. Make sure a goal goes in. It's all tied up. We're heading to point 5.
And, you know, something that I just now realized that needs to be addressed. This Zykeen guy might be a little addicted to Mag Souls. This is a Mag Souls X we are looking at here, Saya. He's a little addicted to the Mag Souls grind. And what can I say? Zykeen's a midfielder at heart. He loves walking across that midfield line, and he's doing it quite a bit. He's getting a lot of benefit out of the Mag Souls. We'll see how it plays out throughout the match, though. Another double barrier for Kidnapped. They have just been getting these time and time again. It seems like even though Ripstick in the Uber hold it down Asher goalie spot, even with that, it's no match for a Kazan and Juno just holding off every angle you could want to send it at. Both of these goalies have no barriers for now, though, and only time will tell who will grab the final point.
Cold Ramen, that was a really clutch strike to make sure that Ripstick wasn't put into a tough situation, but they got to be so careful because this Kazan is just absolutely in there. A passing play now, a bounce backwards, a lot of trouble in the corner, but Saikeen sends it away, and now the bounces are getting quite crazy with the core speed. It's overtime after all. You gotta watch out for the hotshot Juno. The path splitter does enough to keep it away, but so far it's still a really awkward spot here because any hotshot Juno shot could be enough. Any Kazan strike could be enough. A flip available now to the top corner, and Cold Ramen inches away, but not enough. Kidnap take the first set.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we're already seeing that the core speed is in the favor of Kidnapped, but also just in general the core control. They do, at least in the early game, have a lot more presence on the field, so it's no surprise that they took the first set. There isn't really anything too incredible here for Eddicam to pick up, so I think that Catalyst is mainly a deny away from the X, but he's certainly not upset that Big Fish is still on the table. Twin Drive is a pickup for Mako that I've seen more and more lately. It used to be considered not that good because Makos would kind of use their secondaries off cooldown. You wanted to either use it to buff your team on offense or leave it up as a defensive tool. But lately Makos have been a lot more frugal with the ability, so we've seen that Twin Drive get quite a bit more use. It is an early KO here for Kidnapped. But yeah, I think that overall, this draft I do have to give over to paid off by the refs, or paying off the refs rather. That Monu on Era, as well as Ripstick getting that team player, is a huge buff to the components that this team were missing.
Yeah, and that Monumentalist on the Era doing so much work as it brings Eddicam really, really low here. And even though Eddicam does have his flip up, he's trying to position himself in a really good position to use that flip. And Ripstick also getting their flip up, setting up to the top side of the Cold Ramen, really great momentum saving play. Saikeen getting his flip up. We're going to be seeing how Saikeen uses his flip against Oduli with no barrier here.
Yeah, Ripstick's barriers go down right there. There's the flip from Saikeen, but it's expertly defended by Eddicam, who manages to keep pressure here, forces out the path splitter from Ripstick. And there's the Kazan hook into strike. That dude has a little too many strikes in his back pocket. Flips traded in front of Agulio's net. Eddicam with a flip once more, already seeing that Catalyst paying off. Kills Saikeen with the help of the ensnare drums. And now that we're in overtime, the core is flying everywhere and anywhere.
Yeah, flipping everywhere and everywhere with Kidnapped, having the power play, being able to get it into Ripstick's net as soon as possible will be something to be finding to be hard as Saikeen. But not even Saikeen, Cold Ramen just sending it right in, not even hitting Saikeen, so. And kind of being able to have that great synergy with your forward, being able to pick up the slack that he can't pick up when she's dead is going to be crazy. As Ripstick does regain his flip, and Kazan getting a little bit low there, unfortunately.
Yeah, I will say one thing that I didn't notice about Era getting that Monumentalist as well is Cold Ramen actually picked up extra special at the start of this game. So this is ginormous Era NATOs that are also on an incredibly short cooldown, and he gets one off of every kickoff. Didn't even need the NATO that point. That was just some well-coordinated corner offense there from Saikeen and Cold Ramen. Saikeen holding the out clear with his massive X size, and Cold Ramen just repeatedly sending it up until it works. I mean, that's all that an Era X can really wish for, and on Taiko Temple they get all sorts of opportunities to let that game plan happen.
Yeah, and Cold Ramen just buffing Saikeen as well as Saikeen having the extra special that he picked up from draft makes it a lot easier for him to win those strike wars as he gets as both barriers come down for the red team here. Eddicam with a flip up. I just realized he does have block, which is very interesting. Eddicam gets a flip up, and unfortunately it is blockaded away by Ripstick here. And again, it's just the corner and just the pressure from having an Era X comp coming right at you, as well as Cold Ramen having just Monumentalist Biss here, as well as being able to buff Saikeen, probably the biggest player on the map right now. As a great top spin, sends Saikeen to the back of Agulio's net, picking up a power play for the other team.
Yeah, both of these teams are about to have flips online though. But before they can even get it, that is another goal there scored by Eddicam. this Juno. I don't even think that was a Juno moment. I think that was just a well-placed demon angle that no one was covering. And you know what? If you can find those opportunities, you'll take them every chance you can get. Edikan might have to burn a defensive flip here, as Saikeen actually just pops the entire X kit and grabs a double barrier. Really well played from him. But now it is on the Kidnapped on the rebound. Do manage to find a barrier of their own. Saikeen is almost playing midfield X here, allowing Cold Ramen to set up that core flip. Nice team coordination there. You really want to give the person with core flip the best angle possible, and oftentimes that means letting them get all the way up to the front and in the middle of the map. So nice coordination there. And Saikeen is actually still staying in the midfield for now.
Yeah, Saikeen just having the magnetized souls means that he is able to do all those things. As Cold Ramen gets Gulio to burn his flip because of the Myra Monumentalist. Good play, but will that come in handy as Gulio doesn't have the flip to save it? Saikeen, what a great strike! Oh my god. And that brings Ping Off the Ref up 1 set. And Cold Ramen, the Prophet, going to be first pick here.
Yeah, I would not be surprised at all if we see a Castellast. Even a Perfect Form. Perfect Form has been a pretty common pickup for Era lately, the few times that we see her played. It will be Aerials instead, though. A nice speed boost, as well as a little further travel distance on those Arenados that they get so frequently. That means X actually gets Perfect Form here. This is an absolutely huge draft for paying off the refs. Kazan did end up with Rampage there, which, I mean, size is always going to be a big buff on Kazan, but like you kind of can't beat this big X getting Perfect Form. He's going to have so many cooldowns at his disposal, and these Arenados aren't stopping anytime soon.
I mean, another thing to look at is that Edikan has Hotshot, has the Catalyst, and also has the Egoist too, which means that Juno is going to be completely cracked in this game. So you're seeing how Ping Off the Rest will deal with this, as Edikan is able to kind of just send it a red core at any time using the Taiko Drums as well. And momentum is kind of just shifting here onto the side of Kidnapped, as they're up a barrier and Saikeen taking a little bit of damage due to the Mako ult. You're seeing how he's going to deal with the amount of pressure that's going to be coming in, since Edikan has their flip up and also has that Egoist speed.
Yeah, Saikeen is getting beat up on the other side of the map right now, though. Will get sent away by the perfect pitch, which means that Cold Ramen's Nado does not find anything yet. Ripstick, actually, that was a mix-up and a half. I wasn't sure what he was going to do there, but the primary into path splitter is a bit of a mix-up. Does make sure that Saikeen can get back on the board, but an unfortunate bell ringer and then an unfortunate Asher dash means that none of the rest of that point goes the way of paying off the refs. Kidnapped take the first point.
Yeah, and great fight by Edikan with that angle to send it right behind Ripstick. Ripstick, I don't think anticipating that kind of angle to be found, and fortunately it does just go right behind him. And Saikeen here popping his, I guess, his entire kit here to try to take the second barrier. Does get to actually get the second barrier off of a strike. Cold Ramen with the flip up, trying to get Gulio to whiff, and unfortunately he doesn't, but a lot of good things are looking good on the side of paying off the refs, as they have both barriers gone and forcing Gulio to burn the flip there.
Yeah, and now it is Kidnapped back on the offense. Both of their flips are up right now, but Saikeen actually just catches the Juno right in the act. The Juno jump strike is not enough to clear the core away. Instead, a corner shot will mean that they're able to tie up the set.
Yeah, and Energy Awakening is energy on the side of Kidnapping here, as Edikan and Kazan both have their flips ready. Edikan unfortunately didn't really find a lot of pressure off of them getting their Egoist proc after the second point being scored, but he does find value in flipping right there in front of Rips, taking the first barrier here, as paying off the Rips are all clumped inside their own gold barrier, not being able to find a lot of pressure, and they're just ramping it up again, as Cold Ramen looking a little bit low. Saikeen trying to find an equalizing play, getting both barriers too. And Saikeen just punches it right in past the Gulio to get the second point for paying off the refs.
Yeah, I mean, nice little 2v1 setup there for the Era X. It was pretty much just a Gulio versus the Era X there, allowing Saikeen quite a few nice setups. And Saikeen is rewarded. We'll be very close to a flip here, but like you said, Anycam does have the Egoist Catalyst Exodia up, so he'll have a flip of his own very shortly. There's the Egoist prop. He dribbles up the field, takes the like long way around, very creative angle there on the core flip, but Ripstick is there to defend it away. Kazan is stacking up this Rampage, currently at 4 stacks right now, and it's anybody's game. We're entering a neutral state.
Yeah, and great defenses by both teams. Ripstick and Nuguli really like holding it down against both the forwards of Saikeen and the Kazan, and Saikeen has been really like using that Magnetized Soul, as I said earlier, kind of to stabilize the round if it ever goes out of control, being able to have enough speed to go back and forth and maintain that pressure that he's been getting all along. And Cold Ramen with a nice nada to make a Gulio burn his flip once again. He will have no flip and no evade for the time being right now, but let's see if Edicam can sort of bring this round back in control with the amount of speed and cooldown reduction he will be getting from getting a hot shot. As Bang with the refs are looking to get the corner shot, they do get it. Cold Ramen about to have their flip up. Let's see what they can do with it as they're heading into set point here.
Yeah, I mean, wow. The Era X is just some like really, really well executed corner offense from Saikeen and Cold Ramen. Saikeen pushes the goalie all the way back up so that they don't have a whole lot of clear angles. And then he's just able to strike ward them over and over and over again, and Cold Ramen is there to catch anything that goes behind. Just really, really well played from paying off the refs. What do we have to look forward to in this draft here?
I mean, Ripstick taking away the 1-2 punch from the Juno. Juno not being able to get the complete best Juno build the world's ever seen, but Juno does get a dash awakening here, getting explosive entrance, which will change the side of how they do with the Junos. Junos is going to be able to dash a lot further and a lot farther, which means that his strikes while in midair will be a big pump to deal with, as they will not be able to really figure out where he will be striking from. But on the other side, Cold Ramen does pick up the Flutterfly, being able to maximize their speed even more, which means that they'll be having to have a lot of workload control in their hands.
Yeah, there's an interesting dynamic formed here in this draft. As we see the first goal float over to paying off the refs here. There's an interesting dynamic because if we do see Kidnapped win this, they have Triple Spark coming up for Kazan. They've already got Exodias active on their team, and this Mako can only get better from here. So it does put them in a very good position if they could win. But on the other hand, we're looking at this Era X that have just scaled to all things good and holy. Like, this is a massive X with perfect form and extra special. And Cold Ramen, as noted previously, has the Era NATO build of all time. So I do think that currently paying off the refs is favored here. They're in a very, very good spot to just end the game right here. But if Kidnapped can pull a clutch here, get a few miracles, they are not lost yet.
Yeah, being in the clutch means that they'll be having to deal with Saikeen here, trying to take him off the map as he's looking a little bit low. Ripstick X replacing Saikeen, getting the flip up and the barrier too. Gulio and Edicam both looking low. Cold Ramen burning their flip as well as Gulio burning their flip to save it. Edicam also burning their flip as well. And Saikeen is still hanging there. But the Juno is looking extra oppressive today as the Red Core just goes in and Kaza with a crazy secondary conversion to stun Ripstick and send the core right through him and take the first point for Kidnapping.
Yeah, fun fact, Kazan can actually strike on the other side of that open secondary there, which is why he was able to send the core straight forward and make that awesome shot. So any Kazan players out there, experiment around with that crap. It's really OP. But as we get into this, we are seeing the Era NATO in full swing. Double barrier comes out here. That's a very quick and efficient point for paying off the refs.
Yeah, and if they can get one more like this, I think it just proves that Juno might need another buff. Please, ODA stop, give us another Juno buff. We need Juno to be a lot more stronger because apparently it's not looking really that great for kidnapping, as they're kind of with a really good build and not really trying to convert off of it. And as you said, and again, the Era NATO is just doing so much work. It's just been like crazy builds for both of these teams, and it kind of just shows how you don't really need to ban or deny anything. You just have to play with your awakenings and see how well you can do with them. And that goes to a lot of like fellow players. Like, you don't have to deny things from each other. All you need to do is just get like you kind of just have to evaluate what is better, taking a BIS pick or letting the opponent get their BIS pick in favor of your better pick.
Yeah, sometimes your BIS beats their BIS. I couldn't have said it better. Yeah, I mean, we are looking at this BIS come into form right here, forcing Agulio's flip out. The Era X just constantly having this corner offense up, but Kazan and Edicam do get a brief break here. An attempt at a goal, but nothing is found immediately. And it's, before we know it, there's the Era NATO back once more. Edicam's flip forced out. Saikeen wins Strike Wars, but the Ensnare Drums make sure that those don't get any progress made. That is a lot of cooldowns burned from Agulio, though. I won't be too surprised. There, the barrier goes down. A topspin almost catches it, but Ripstick is there with the barrier beam to make sure it doesn't go through. Team player sends the core fast. Kazan sending the core fast himself. Both of these teams have plenty of core speed tools at their disposal in overtime. There's a decent chance we could see it closed out right here. The core floats through the Asher Bolts. Fix this character. She's been bugged for so long. She's still bugged.
And that's just kind of sad for Ripstick. That's just kind of unfortunate. And right here, if we do go to a set 5, we might be seeing Kazan with 3 Strikers. Is very, very scary considering the amount of like building that has been going on in this game so far. The scaling has been really oppressive lately, as Edicam kind of just has the peak Juno build. Kazan with 2 Sparks, specifically Sparker Res and Sparker Strikers, means that they're going to be hitting a lot faster. Kazan just finds the double kill right onto Ripstick and Cold Ramen, and Edicam just sends it right in to force it into a set 5.
I mean, what did I say? They need a couple miracles in order to win that set. First, you get some Asher ult bullcrap, and then that lovely double kill there found by Kazan. I mean, one of those, funny bug, but I mean, when the opportunity presents yourself for a top spin to just take the double kill, you take it. It will be Ripstick making sure that the 3rd spark doesn't go over to Kazan. Missile prop going to Mako, big buff for her. And the rest of the draft is pretty standard. The main thing I'm eyeing here is stacks on that Era, even more speed. Era does have the most speed out of anybody in this game right now, with the fighter flight and the aerials pickup as well. So it allows Cold Ramen to be anywhere they need to be and respond to any situation.
Yeah, having that speed will be really important at that mid position to try to outrun the core. Well, not really outrun the core, but trying to at least outrun the core or try to catch up to the core. As Edicam will be sending this core at Mach 5 speeds as he's sending red cores all across into Ripstick's own top corner here. And let's see how the paying off refs will be looking to get the second barrier here, as Saikeen looking to set up the offensive pressure corner. The barrier, forcing Edicam to flip. Unfortunately, that flip is not found, and Saikeen takes the second barrier, which means that they're currently down in barriers.
Yeah, and Ripstick here with the flip, forced to use it defensively, and Kazan catches it with the hook there, and the top spin stuns Ripstick and sends the core in. I mentioned it last set. If Kidnapped were able to bring it to a 5th set, they legitimately have a good chance at winning here. Already Kazan with 2 Rampage stacks, and only more to come on the way as long as they stay alive.
Yeah, and even though paying the refs have taken a big lead in terms of having their Barriers taken. Even better, the goal gets taken by Saikeen, and great arrow ult by Cold Ramen just stalls out the core and lets Saikeen just strike it in. But something to know right now is Edicam basically has their flip up with no egoist speed as they got it. I think last set here, Saikeen getting their flip will be evading out of it. But Cold Ramen also about to have their flip up, and Edicam does burn their flip here, stopped out by the Asher ult. And it's looking back to normal again. With like a little slight side effect as Ripstick does not have one of their goal barriers.
Yeah, but there's those arrow ults. Always there, a constant pressure from Cold Ramen. I believe that arrow ult is on like a 15-second cooldown right now. It's some stupid low number. So yeah, they just get so many of those. And there's the stacks on stacks coming online. So the scaling awakenings for the side of paying off the refs are now up and running. But as Kazan swoops in here, that's another Rampage stack. And they do have a bunch of core flips here to maybe score another goal.
It's like beautiful strike to deny Agulio the clear. Edicam will be forced to burn it. Flipstick, Ripstick also burning their flip too. Kazan about to have to flip. Saikeen unfortunate bounce to the top side. She's like Kazan gets full control and send it to the bottom side where Ripstick is not there to look at it. Currently Kidnapping are about to complete the game and they're up 1 point against Ping off the refs.
Yeah, they don't even need miracles at this point. They just need to do what they've been doing this whole set. Consistency and punishing what paying off the refs are doing right now. Saikeen is getting punished right now, and Cold Ramen with the flip almost scores a goal there, even though Saikeen is staggered. Currently in dire straits. Ripstick, though, able to run all the way up to the midfield. A nice goalie rotation there from paying off the refs. Saikeen back in the mix now. Grabs an orb, is now no longer staggered. The Arenado comes in. X-Maximus popped, punching in front of the net. And the Bull Rush is the thing that scores it. Tying it up, 5th point, 5th set. It's anybody's game in Kidnap versus paying off the refs.
Yeah, and Saikeen, and I think that paying off the refs might have a little bit of an advantage here as Saikeen has been finding those early double barriers compared to Kidnap, which means that they will be facing a lot of pressure coming into this. And honestly, it kind of is up to Saikeen and Cold Ramen to see if they can finish it, if they can finish the point off. And there we go, the first barrier gone currently, as another barrier falls on the side of Ripstick, unfortunately. And again, they will be having to look for that second barrier and eventually close it out against this Juno here.
Yeah, Edicam, plenty of core speed and the core flips coming out, but it's all defended away by Ripstick very effectively. He's still got the flip to burn. It'll come out right there to ensure that nothing is found. Kazan hooking in front of the net, but it is a bit of a triple defender setup for paying off the refs here. Saikeen with those mag souls is able to do that. Now coming in with the bell ringer, stalls out the core flip, but the barriers are first down for Ripstick, and Edicam with the flip will be the one to shoot it through. That is Kidnapped taking the game. I mean, that is 2 set 5.5 matches in a row. Just incredibly exciting stuff.
Yeah, and unfortunately, they kind of, like, again, a 30-minute game brought to you by these two, by just crazy awakening starts in general. Not banning the Juno and letting Edicam on the Juno with the hot shot just means that if they let this game get to a 0.5 set 5, then it's just kind of truly over if Edicam gets to have the core for free and be able to rocket it around the map like nothing's ever happening.
Yeah, Edicam with 331 redirects shows just how much influence that Juno had over the game, and even scoring more goals than Kazan. I mean, I'm honestly, I'm a little baffled that Agulio is actually the one that ended up with MVP with the stat line that Edicam pointed out, but I guess there's just some amount of redirects that 134 saves can't earn you. Agulio is freaking holding it down back there. But I definitely, I don't want to sell paying off the refs short. All three of them had incredibly high redirect numbers, and it seemed like they had a lot of good synergy, and definitely made a lot of really good plays. But at the end of the day, it was a couple miracles and a couple really good capitalizations from Kidnapped that earned them that victory. So yeah, just well played to both of these teams. I don't know. This was a bracket deciding match, correct? So
Yep.
I believe Kidnapped is the one that'll be going onto the bracket stage now.
Yeah, and great game played by both teams. Unfortunately, we are discussing a Save Asher banner probably just because Asher kind of just got scammed there by their ult, unfortunately. So please save Asher, Odie, as we head into the bracket stage. Please keep being here and keep supporting Bestie and Slot as we head into a break.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to ISS. We're in the bracket stage. We're watching Bombs Away versus P-Wiz Soldiers, and we are getting right into it. Hi, P-Flare.
Hey there! We are back once again, ISS. Let's get going.
Yeah, and we're on AtLab, 2 teams that have made it through the bracket stage, the top 50% at the moment. And AtLab, a map that they're all comfortable with to the point where when they were on the pick ban, they were like, I don't know what maps are in the pool, but I know that the 3 maps were banned, so we're going to AtLab. And Orange and Black 5, actually. Wait, that's such a crazy crossover. Did you see the Asher bug in the previous game?
I did not actually. I didn't see the previous one, but I'm seeing it now.
Yeah, so Orange and Black 5 was actually called in to watch the Asher bug because that guy is the one who has been campaigning to fix Asher. And there was a bit of a crazy one where the core just went through the pass splitter. It looked wild.
Oh, I did see that.
Yeah, so bit of a crazy coincidence. We'll see if Asher makes it through the pick ban. Nope, it's just taken away by P-Wiz Soldiers. Good pick.
Yep. So let's see what we got going on now. This is this is Bombs Away with the Kai, the Rasmus, the Mako in short. Solid group all around, I would say. Rasmus definitely, I think, going to be the one to look out for. Kai, we all know what he can do. He's good with controlling. He's good with making sure, like, he can play, like, you know, sub goalie in a pinch. And on the other side, we have, you know, your Aimi, who is not being played by the person named Aimi, which is really good. But yeah, aside from that, Asher, like you said, and rounding that out, Zentaro. So what I'm seeing on P-Wiz Soldier side is a lot of pain to be brought.
Yeah, they're brawling. That Aimi is going to do so much damage. That Zentaro is going to do so much damage. And the Asher too sometimes. Watch out, Light Sky. Taken low, almost taken out already. And comboed off the edge. Quick KO coming in. But Caramel, you mentioned the Rasmus is someone to watch out for. But the passing plays might be even better here. Pass up to Tanky. Orange and Black 5 managing to win the strike wars to save it away. And Caramel, the speed is something that can just be watched out for on Bombs Away. All 3 of these characters have speed buffs. And Orange and Black 5 is going to make it so that Light Sky and Caramel are flying across the map. We'll see if they can find a pass here. A back pass. Not ready, but the offense continues.
Yeah, that was a bit of a close call there, as was that one, as they're both trying to kind of slip it past the defense. They're both trying to get clever. Tanky has to flip in order to save himself, but that's not going to save the goal. Caramel, boom, nice little shot straight to the corner. Could not get to it in time. That is 1 on the board for Bombs Away.
And Bombs Away calling a bit of a pause here. Interesting. Might be some lag issue, might be something else, but that was incredibly well played by Caramel with the patience on that last play. You were not lying when you predicted the Rasmus was going to have an impact.
Oh yeah, no, I've seen Caramel around here and there, and they know how to rock that Rasmus. They know how to pilot him. And from what I recall of them, yeah, they are very good at finding angles. They are very good at, like you said, patience. Very good patience. So that's why I pointed them out.
All right. I don't know what's happening because even in the match chat, we're not getting much clarity on what exactly is going on. Oh, it looks like they're back. Okay, they're ready.
Good.
But especially when all these pauses happen, one oddity is always that overtime comes a lot sooner, right? Which team do you think is going to be better in that high court speed environment?
Okay, so honestly, I feel like what is likely to happen is P-Wiz Soldiers actually, if they can get, cause like with the speed that core's going, one good glitch pop or maybe a well-timed like Oni's blade, something like that, and yeah, I think Bombs Away may not be able to react in time for just the suddenness at which P-Wiz Soldiers can redirect the core is my thing. Like, yes, Bombs Away can redirect the core. Yes, they all have like core control, but it's usually got like a bit of a wind up. You know, like the barrage takes a little bit of time to do. The whiplash takes a little bit of time. Boom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you were not lying when you said that the immediate nature of the abilities from Pure Soldiers was coming into play, because especially Aimi, having that Astral Primary against the fast core is so valuable, especially when a barrier is still available, and that's exactly what happened there. But heading on to the next point, Caramel's meter is pretty high, and we'll see if they can make use of it.
Yeah, definitely going to have to, because we're kind of seeing the openings of the game plan come out with both sides, and you can kind of see that Pee-wee Soldiers, it's kind of going, oh, sad boys! But yeah, you can kind of see what's happening with Pee-wee Soldiers in that, yeah, they're a lot more aggressive. They're more inclined to go directly again, to like layer on the damage and kind of make Bombs Away think twice about engaging in any kind of like, you know, strike wars or anything like that without any kind of resource backbone, like what Caramel just tried there. But on the other hand, like Nate is kind of low, but in general, what they are doing is just trying to stay out of it and using those core control capabilities to basically dictate the pace of the match.
Yeah, and as it ticks over into overtime, you got to watch out for Caramel on the bottom side, but Aimi is there unfazed by the pendulum swing. Orange and black in the corner, a lot of core speed with the empowered strike, but not quite enough. Oh, another Sad Boys angle. Oh, that's 2 in 1 set so far, and maybe some more, but that is crazy. These barriers are not going down.
Yep, still they are Orange and black holding on to that last one and doing a commentator's curse. Nice flip save. Beautiful. Caramel tried to block it. Could not quite get it. Course flying around now. Both goals open. It's going to be who can shimmy and shake the best right now. And you saw Tanky tried to do a little something there. Tried to go for a little bit of a left-right. Manages to get the core flip. Gets it right past Orange and black. Could not react in time. Just dashes up, swings again. Another angle. Now we're on set point.
I really like how Aimi played that. Not just the dash to catch the core, because let's be real, like that was half a miss from Caramel, unfortunately. Like that was an incredible play too, but after that, when Caramel pushed up with the core on the second try, just walking up and primarying to make sure that Caramel had no angles, that was really valuable in the open net situation.
Yeah, and that speaks a lot to the quickness of their decision making, and you know, like said it before, say it again, like being able to keep your mental up in a lot of high pressure situations, be able to make those snap decisions and say like, they're not going to react to this, or I'm going to, you know, like place a good bet on this action. That is what wins games. That's what wins tournaments.
Orange and Black 5, though, no slouch either. Solid on the defense as the barrier falls. Maybe a big opportunity in the power play for Bombs Away if they can get a passing play started. Trying to find one here with the strike shot, but stuffed away by the Oni's blade. A little bit too hasty is Orange and Black 5, as Tanky is so patient on the dribbles, but it goes to Caramel. Flip available, but the hit stun from Aimi. Make sure the flip can't be used just yet, but doesn't even need the flip. So much confidence in the hook.
Yep, Caramel was kind of lurking around down south there and just waiting for the core to come to him, at which it did, and quick hook, quick goal. Just got that patience, knows when to strike.
And now with this meter available, it might be Bombs Away who are favored, but taken out. So much greed, patience and greed. They're two sides of the same coin, trying to maintain that flip and holding on to it for too long, but they're still keeping the barrier up.
Yeah, Orange and Black has done honestly a very good job at being able to hold these barriers. Sad boys! And it's paid off for them in spades, honestly, because with them trying to focus on getting that barrier down, what Bombs Away has been able to do is take away the consistent offense that they had tried to get started and have allowed their own offense to flourish, because Caramel is just waiting there. Light Sky manages to force it in, and yeah, Bombs Away kind of a little bit of a come from behind, and they take it.
Yeah, and with the first pick, that's Egoist on the board. But there are plenty of other good awakenings in this draft. The single spark, the stacks on stacks, the unstoppable. I'm wondering if unstoppable or stacks is a choice for Aimi here. Both very valuable, but the unstoppable in particular is incredible against Rasmus. Is it going to be picked up? No, it goes for the extra special, and I gotta think that's a little bit of a mistake when your own Aimi is in the draft.
Yeah, I was actually kind of thinking, did the Zentaro want the stacks on stacks? But
Yeah.
no, saved it for Imi, which, like you said, I can understand that call for sure. And instead going for the built different.
Bit of a strange draft here, but Light Sky and Caramel not sad at all about that. What a shot by Orange and Black 5 all the way across the map. The empowered strike to the top corner, and that's already a first goal for Bombs Away.
Yeah, and no, you were definitely right. I Bombs Away, I think, got the better of this one for sure with that missile propulsion on Mako. I feel like that's going to shock. That's going to lead to a surprise goal or two. I just get that vibe. I may be calling it a little bit too early, but it doesn't really matter because with Egoist and with a little bit of extra defense for Caramel, yeah, they're going to be a little bit more willing to get into the mix of it and to get into the thick of it. Like, even though Light Sky was a little bit low, managed to get a little bit of energy there as they're trying to fend things off. Like, there's a bit more aggression coming from them now that the first draft's come and gone.
Gotta watch out for the top corner, but a good strike shot by OB5 gets it out of there. And Caramel picks up the KO. Big power play now, but 2 flips available for POS Soldiers. The back pass now to try and send it away. But that back pass might have been a little bit off in the timing. Tanky finds the core, finds the flip, and ties up the set.
Yeah, just goes for the flip, and Orange and Black kind of, I'm not gonna say like get caught sleeping, but just got surprised. Which, to be fair, can happen. Flips just rock like that sometimes.
Right, another flip, but oh, unfortunate spot. Good turret by Nats to cover the corner. And now Tanky's taking a barrier, looking for another, as the ensnared drums are also a little bit off on the timing, it feels like. Caramel, 1 barrier, looking for 2. The bounces, Imi greets the flip. Really tough situation, and now Bombs Away are the ones in control with 2 flips coming up.
Yeah, very much Bombs Away have kind of figured out their game plan, and they are in the driver's seat. Have you noticed that almost every goal, Bombs Away just kind of, I'm not going to say like they give up the top barrier, but they don't put nearly as much dedication on defending it as they do that bottom one. That's what it comes off like to me, and I feel like that's 100%, you know, like conscious. That's just, they have decided already, like, don't worry about the top barrier. Let's just pick one, dedicate our defenses to that one, and play around that.
No, I think you're absolutely right. I think Orange and Black 5's been looking a lot more comfortable on the bottom barrier, so that choice is definitely a good one. Imi, though, oh, a little bit of a miss on the hit to the corner. Goes right back to Caramel, and that will be Bombs Away picking up another goal. And they still have the meter available. They still have the flips. Even though they find the goal, they're still at a very solid spot in the energy economy.
Yeah, I mean, they are very judicious on when to use those flips, and you saw like both Nats and Imi, they tried to challenge, and because they were anticipating the shot a lot sooner than it came. They were just, we gonna wait you out, we gonna make you flinch, and that's kind of been Bombs Away's thing the whole time. Right there again, we're gonna make you flinch, and we're gonna make you swing first, and we're just gonna be ready for it. And they've been playing that game plan to perfection. That's almost getting knocked out, and you can see that Bombs Away good on the offense now. Jeez Louise, 1 down, Tanky very low. He is hunting, he gets it. Oh, this is a 3-on-1 power play. They do manage to get a barrier, but this is the time they need to push.
Yeah, they need to find the goal here, but Imi plays that masterfully, finds a barrier on the other side, and now the power play is ended. And if POS Soldiers get that barrier just like they do, suddenly the game's even despite the massive power play, and Nats gets in there as well. Bombs Away just fumbled a 3v1.
Like, I don't know what else you say to that. Like, that was your point to lose, and you lost it.
Well, they still have another point to play with. They still have another chance, and thankfully they have energy on Light Sky to play with as well. So they can take this barrier, they can take this goal, and that point could not even matter. But really good saves coming out. The pass splitter, the abilities, the flip. Oh, but the second strike from Light Sky is good enough. And it's going to be on Tanky and Nats to find a second barrier quick. Trying to find a little more here, trying to find a dribbling play, but no, it goes to Caramel yet again, and this Rasmus has been so good at finding the open space. Orange and Black forward, not quite enough. Bounce to the top side. Caramel looking for a dribble, but saved away by Aimi again to the corner, but a kill found on Tanky. Caramel on the bottom side. Aimi barely gets the dribble, and yet again, heroics from the goalie. As the flip comes out, bottom side, Caramel misses the shot, but converts on the rebound. 3-2, bombs away. Have a massive lead now. As we head into the draft, looks like, as foreshadowed earlier before we got onto the stream, P-Flare has gone to pick up a package, so we're going to be chatting a lot more. You're going to hear my voice instead. Rapid Fire, a big pickup here, especially with how efficiently the barrages had been used by Light Sky, and Twin Drive for the uptime as well. This is a draft that is going all bombs away. Twin Drive denied by the Asher though, and Aimi's had some good dashes, but there aren't such crazy awakenings on the board other than Timeless that is denied. I think Bombs Away played that draft pretty well, and P-Wiz Soldiers really need to find some clutch plays because right now they still have the same weaknesses they did in the last set. However, that Knife's Edge Awakening is pretty good. And of course, the denial on the Timeless Creator does mean that the cage from Orange and Black 5 is a little bit more awkward to play with. So maybe some weaknesses they can exploit with Tanky and Nats moving up the field aggressively. That additional Knife's Edge speed doing a lot of work, but no. All right, and still a bit of a tough situation. Bit of a reverse sweep maybe from P-Wiz Soldiers, as both barriers are already down, but Light Sky, the barrage uptime, quite great. The KO found, and the chip damage from Orange and Black 5 is pretty solid as well.
Yeah, I'm back. I'm still living. Got the package, and we are still clearly rocking on this on this match. It is 2-0. Okay.
Yeah, it was incredibly close, but it is still, I think, Bombs Away favored in this one. After the draft, I think they got everything they needed to close out this game. P-Wiz Soldiers is going to need to really find a clutch play.
Oh, all right. Yes, I'm looking at these drafts, and yeah, I have to agree with you. And it seems like you might have called this one. Beautiful shot by Caramel. Just manages to take advantage of the speed. Again, nice angle. Aimi can't get to it.
And I think a lot of it is the triple speed composition, right? The Mako speed buff on two characters that could already speed buff themselves means that Caramel and Light Sky are just outpacing in the midfield, and the damage win condition isn't there for P-Wiz Soldiers. They're the ones who are being damaged and KO'd more often than not, and with the Mako empowered strike, they have just enough core speed to really pressure Aimi, and an amazing snare drums across the map. That's a barrier down, looking for more, but Tanky will convert onto the other side.
Yeah, very much seems to be the speed kill seems to be the name of this game at the moment, and right there, second barrier taken, and flip in, boom. Very nice, actually. Very, very good, very needed goal from Tanky.
Yeah, that they need to find these comebacks, need to find the reverse sweeps. The previous set was close, but not close enough for them. But look at the meter on Caramel. That's who I have my eyes on right now. You mentioned it at the start of the game. We mentioned it like 3 million times during the game. But this Rasmus is a threat, and the flip misses. A flip for the KO on the return by Caramel. A power play now. They fumbled these before, but I think this one's a little bit different because Bombs Away, they are passing.
Yeah, passing goes. Oh, Tanky came back right in time to basically stop what was going to be like a 2-on-1 advance very clearly. So now is their opportunity to try and push, get this last barrier down, and make a real offensive. And as soon as I say that, Night Sky and Caramel just kind of take the core from Tanky's control and just push it on in. Just a 2-man power trip. Just push it and force it. Yeah.
It's all about the speed here, right? Caramel and Light Sky have enough speed to just walk up with the core. Sometimes even walk up together because they have so much additional speed to reposition. But the passing play there, Tanky and Nats. Self-pass, looking for the mix-up. Tanky with the passive strike, and suddenly we're on a 0.5.
Okay, we need more of that. We definitely need more of that. And they're going to have to find a way to make that more consistent. Basically kind of well, I say basically, but yeah, they're going to have to outplay Bombs Away and do it by an order of magnitude here, which has been proven kind of tough, especially when their people keep getting, like knocked out, just like Tanky is about to. Uses the Oni Blade, which I feel was almost more for self-preservation than just for damage. And you see he's kind of like wandering off to the side there as Caramel kind of takes care of the front lines. Aimee and Nat definitely trying their best to handle things on their own, but Tanky's just constantly low. Tanky can't really do anything without risking that.
Yeah, that exactly. And with Caramel and Light Sky building up a lot of meter, now they have a potential for a flip on the scoring attempt if they can get this barrier. But Aimee's holding strong for the moment, and once again, Tanky respawns for the second time in a row in the perfect spot to help defend.
Yeah, just been able to get a couple of lucky breaks, but luck can be kind of a skill too.
Oh,
and wow, Aimee tries to go for the downward pass, gets the barrier, but sacrifices their life for it. And yep, their own barriers is taken in exchange. One apiece.
Wow.
Bowl, and yeah, just that two-man front. Just Light Sky set it up. Caramel was like, doesn't matter if they block it. I got you. Quick pop in, and we are done here.
what coordinated play. That was really well done. Like you mentioned, the follow-up really made that so difficult to deal with. And with that, bombed away. In terms of goal count, it was sort of close. But in terms of the set count, it was not. Bombs away were clutch when it mattered.
Yeah, it was just a matter of being able to stay consistent, stay in control, and just execute when they needed to.
Yeah, and I think the value of speed really showed through in that game, especially because Orange and Black 5 with the speed buff, but Light Sky and Caramel just ran around the map really comfortably, it felt like.
Yeah, nothing much else to say about that. You pretty much nailed it. They had the speed advantage, and they rode that all the way home.
All right, well, we will go to a short break. Finale qualifiers are coming up oh, wow. I'm stumbling over my words. Finale qualifiers are up next. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you soon.
Peace.
Hello everyone, we are back and we have a bit of a finale qualifier matchup here. Power of Friendship versus Pooh Dad and Sons. It's going to be an interesting one.
Yep, Power of Friendship sitting at 4-0. Pooh Dad and Sons 3-1. So they are both going to be bringing their A game. We know Power of Friendship does not want to let go of that perfect record. So what do you think we are going to be seeing out of them to keep it going? What do you think Pooh Dad and Sons are going to be trying in order to snap that streak?
I think Pooh Dad and Sons just need to find a way around the passing plays, because as we saw in their last game, Power of Friendship very familiar with the team play, with the passing, with team player even. So Pooh Dad and Sons will have to find a way to cut the pass, find a way to interrupt that.
All right, and naturally that's going to be affected by who they're going to be picking. So we're going to, it looks like Taiko Temple. Am I correct?
Yep.
Bounce house time.
We're here on the bounce house. The bounces will be a little bit crazy, and you got to watch out because there's a lot of picks that could be a bit of a threat here. Of course, some people are going to be looking at the rune, but when Taiko's picked, when it's OSAS or ISS, my thoughts always go to the IME. Not the IME.
Understandable.
Well, actually, yes, the IME, but also the IME, but mostly the Juno.
Again, also very understandable. Juno is kind of just an unholy terror in Taiko, as well as honestly a couple other maps, really. So I wouldn't be surprised as well. She wasn't banned. Instead, it's the Now that gets the no, as well as the Asher. So what we have going on Power of Friendship, we got that rune. We got what looks to be an Atlas, and we got a Rasmus. So, yep. Again, very core control heavy team. Very, very manipulative, which they're going to need in this kind of map.
Yeah, not just that, the creation is very valuable in stuffing out of the corner. Similar pick on the other side is the Dubu. And we'll see if they can take control of the game before the Octavia may be the one taken over from Cliff.
Yeah, we've seen like Dubu seems to be a fairly popular pick for Taiko Temple, and that's kind of that's understandable because with that Tofu Fortress, you can basically shut down on a whole lane for a couple of seconds, which can prove to be invaluable, and it creates a whole different dynamic for the game. Octavia, not a pick we see often, but one I am very happy to see because I like Octavia. I just love how absolutely bonkers fast she can get with that flow state, and honestly, might be very useful again, just because of where we're at. Bounce House, that core is going to be flying, and being able to take control of it, very good, just like that.
Yeah, and we mentioned last game, right? Double speed being valuable, and look what we have here, Octavia Kai. That's a lot of speed, and Pudat and Sons are going to be able to really just get in there. It's going to be up to Mr. Flambeau to not falter, to have accurate pillars and accurate banishes, but that one goes wide as they do take one barrier, but this Chrono Boost start Kai Octavia might just be a little overwhelming.
Yeah, that's actually, I was gonna bring that up because the Chrono Boost start just amps up their natural abilities so much from jump. That's something they're going to have to be prepared to play around very quickly. No pun intended. And fortunately, it does seem like they're doing that.
Yeah, but what I'm also noticing is Pudash right on the Manu. It's not like that bad on the Dubu, but it is a bit of a downgrade, and that's going to show up in the corner situations quite a bit, because if the log breaks on the opposing player, well, it's not stopping the core, and those situations can be terrifying if you're the goalie.
No, you're very right. And another issue that may be present that I'm starting to see is Octavia's stagger. You can see, was already very low, had to play very risky to keep that pressure up, but that ain't risky. Just Giga Blast him into oblivion and just, okay, score now. 2.
And the funny thing is, even if that Giga Blast didn't kill, even if the Giga Blast didn't exist at all, that was already a guaranteed goal for Wolfgang and Cliff, because Wet really misplayed the situation by not aggressively pushing up in the corner and let the core go back to neutral. But wait a second, an aggressive flip, the log, and they managed to get it out of the corner and take a barrier on the other side. With the flow state activated now, maybe a huge opportunity for Wolfgang and Cliff to turn it around after the double barrier, but Wolfgang takes so much damage, but Cliff is strike warring 3 people at once, maintaining the flow state, dribbling, but Cero takes control of it for a moment, and the flow state does end. Pudat and Sons now in an even state, but it's still a really tough game.
That was an incredible save, and Wolfgang was like inches from dying. They managed to secure it, and Cero manages to kill Octavia, and now we have a power play.
A bit of a power play, maybe a bit of a passing play, but a good roll, a good flip, perfectly played by Pudash to neutralize it, and now they're on a power play for 8 more seconds. The pillar is good, completely walling off the Octavia, but now Cliff is walking in, a flip available, but the core speed isn't there. A good strike war by Mr. Flambeau, though. But Cliff is playing this so well. But Cero in position, no. The pendulum swing misses, and both strikes miss. A lot of spaghetti from both teams, but the Giga Blast will do it yet again. Wolfmane comes in clutch for the second time.
Yep, that was a little sloppy. Just a few missed strikes, a few misplays here and there. But hey, they managed to recover faster, and we take those out here. So now we get into the drafts. I'm seeing some interesting stuff here. I'm seeing Castellast. I'm seeing Primetime. Prizefighter honestly wouldn't go too amiss with the knockouts that we've been seeing.
Yeah, my eyes are on the extra special as well as the Spark, the single Spark. That gives Octavia 2 different ways to scale here.
Ooh,
the dash
right.
speed and the sparks in general. If Spark of Resilience comes up, that is huge. Spark of Agility, that's huge. And Missile Prop, Pudash is going to have a field day with this one.
Ooh, you are right. Yeah, Missile Prop, those logs are going to be flying, and frankly, so will that tofu. There's going to be a lot of tofu. I hope you're hungry.
Across the map even, but Wolfmane on point yet again. The Banish comes out onto both players, and that is the KO. But look at the Tofu Fortress, the Missile Prop coming in clutch, taking the barrier all by itself, and now Wolfmane looking for the 1v3, not quite enough, but it's still a lot of damage. Despite the power play, they're the ones in control still.
Yeah, it's always a bit disheartening whenever you see, you've got a power play, but you have to play defense that hard, and basically you're not able to do a whole lot about it. And see, Wolfman very nearly got it into the goal. There's been a lot of good control on the part of Budad and Sons, really. Just being able to slip it past the defenders, kind of like what just happened there to get it into the backfield. But that is, again, the kind of weak spot that we've been seeing, I think, out of Budad and Sons. There's been a lot of rough in the chaos, but hey, if you can control the core, never mind then. Excuse me. Cliff with the beautiful flow state into the catch, redirect, is like, no, you're not clearing this. It's scoring in. It's going.
Yeah, and Wet's falling into a lot of the melee goalie bad habits here, where you have strong buttons, but you have to be aware, and most of the time you should be striking anyway. Those bad habits do not die easily, and they come back to bite in that situation where it just gets fed to Cliff. And once again, a barrier goes down. The pillars are there on the defense to help out, but with the cooldowns down, now it's Cliff and Wolfmang's turn to try and go on the offense, but maybe not if Zero can dribble to the bottom side. But one too many dribbles does mean that another defensive opportunity, but a great pillar will open up the net. But oh no, the barrier falls anyway.
That was an insane sequence of events. Did you see how long they both waited on that flip out? It was a stare down for the ages, but Power of Friendship does manage to salvage the situation, and they do get the score. But that was kind of that was kind of like a wild sequence, and I don't know if that's not the cleanest that they need to be playing against a team like Budad and Sons.
Dash top side, looking for a passing play to Cliff, but flips a little too close to the center bumper and it bounces off away. Zero and Mr. Flambeau now looking for a passing play. Lane opened up by the Banish, but they do not find the barrier just yet. Yes, they do. Both Cliff and Pudash a little bit disjointed on the defense, and now Zero with an open net, exploiting Budad and Sons not really being there in terms of the defense.
Yeah, once the core went down to the bottom area, and you notice like Flambeau caught him with a banish, caught Cliff with a banish, and I feel like Cliff was going to like clear it out, and from there the defense kind of fell apart, honestly. So now they've got to shake back, and well, they can't. That can't be happening. Octavia, yes, Octavia is low, but you got to keep that in mind when you move with Octavia.
Good dribbles, but Wolfgang so low, hooked away. Gonna be KO'd by Wet probably. No, actually, but it's Sarah who, although being incredibly low, does find the barrier, has a flip available, finds the KO with it, but a good strike war by Cliff. Reduces the damage somewhat. But again, Wet, you can't be using Expanse for everything. Like, it is just been a mistake twice in a row now. And if Cliff and Wolfgang can somehow find this one, it's just not good.
Yeah, been a couple of noticeable misplays, bad usages of ability, like you said. And right now, Cliff is doing their best to push this core forward. Wolfgang behind them. They have to flip in order to save it. Very good two-man play, but hey, that's how you stop those two-man plays. You take one of them out. Again, Cliff again down, but weird bounce house in full effect, and around the world we go. Wolfman trying to do their best to corral this crazy core, and they are just trying to get something going. But with how the Power of Friendship they have been managing to keep a defense up. I will say that despite the weakness, they have been managing to keep the defense up, and that allows their offense to do what they do best.
Yeah, the offense of Budad and Sons is good. Their defense is a little bit lackluster there. There were some good plays from them, but in the end it is a Power Friendship who finally finds the correct opportunity, finds the hook, and now are rewarded with some size on the Rasmus. But there's so many scary awakenings here, right? There's Spark of Agility for the Octavia potentially, there's Egoist, there's Perfect Form, there's Stacks.
Somebody's got I was about to say somebody's got to block that Stacks. You've got to take the block and force Octavia to go for Stacks. Meanwhile, Atlas, Perfect Form, Kai has to, like, Egoist perfectly great on Kai.
Wait a second, though. That Spark of Agility deny gives Timeless Creator to Pudash. If that guy gets a single Tofu Fortress, that could be both barriers going down.
You're right. Wow.
The power of Octavia in the draft.
Yeah. We know what she's good at, so it's like, don't want her to get the party started, so it's scary. And even then, like you said, even with that deny, she still has Stacks. She's still going to be fast. Like, you're not going to stop Octavia from going fast. Going fast is what she does. But now, like you said, Pudash, big logs, big tofu. Like, this tofu This tofu has a very wide delivery range. We will bring it right to your front door.
Right, Cliff, flip available now. Banish, that's probably a kill, but a good flip. But the pillars will just completely stuff that away for the moment. But his flow state's being maintained. Finds a dribble. Wet gets baited into striking yet again. And it's just awkward because in previous tournaments, I've seen Wet really hold it down, but this game, not looking the greatest.
Just too eager, you would say? Because, yeah, Cliff just, with that boost, just managed to run up behind it, and it was like, you gonna hit it? You gonna hit it? All right, I thought you was gonna hit it. Good.
It's more that, like, I know Wet is good, but there's just been a lot of basic defensive errors that should be like autopilot for solid goalies that have happened in this game that I'm pretty sure usually don't happen. So Wet is playing off this game, and it's going to be up to Cero and Flambeau to really come in clutch.
Okay, I see. And meanwhile, good flip. Try to start the offense going. Cliff goes for the flow state. Cero, nice little whip crack, and just absolutely shuts that whole offensive play down. And now it's Power Friendship who are on the offense. They get the second barrier, and now's the time to try and push. Cliff's back, but they had a good offense. Flip with Wolfman. Gets the barrier, and weird bounce with the Tofu Fortress.
Yeah, but Cero's been clutch on these scoring attempts despite that, right?
Yeah.
That guy's
Yes.
been picking up weird bounces, been hooking it, been striking it to the top corner, and really just been getting it done here. And I think that's really been the saving grace of the Power of Friendship. Cero's stepping up, and Flambeau's getting the pillars, the banishes, and already a barrier's down, looking for two. Cero's going crazy.
Yeah, you're very right. Cero is on lock. You were saying like it would be up to them, up to the front line, and it just kind of tap dances on in.
Wow, weird miss
okay.
from Cliff. Really awkward, just completely misses the core on the strike there. Tries to fade
Okay.
away, I think, which was a big mistake. And now Power of Friendship trying to take control of this game. A set win here would be absolutely huge.
Yeah, I feel like there might have been a bit of a I keep going back to this, but mental. And I'm looking at how Hudad and Sons have been playing and how they're playing now, if that makes sense. And I'm starting to wonder a little bit. They do get one barrier, but Cliff is low and Wolfman not really doing a whole lot better. So they have to try and play that beautiful pillar though, and just gets that score. Another set down, and yeah, Power of Friendship seems like they figured out the plan and they are executing, and they have just kind of wrested control entirely away from Hudad and Sons.
Bit of a scary draft upon us, though. Catalyst, Rapid Fire, Hotshot, Fighter Flight, all strong awakenings to be looking at in the first few picks. Denying the Fighter Flight is Flambeau, but Explosive Entrance is taken anyway. But that means Catalyst is falling down quite a bit. Hotshot's falling down quite a bit. Rapid Fire's falling down quite a bit. All great awakenings. I think that's the correct choice, making sure team player does not go to the Atlas, but that guy gets Hotshot anyway for core speed. I think Power of Friendship pretty happy with this draft.
Yeah, absolutely. Like Hudad and Sons, I don't think they got bad, but not quite what they would optimally want. So I overall, I definitely agree with you. But even beyond just, draft picking is up, they have to kind of tighten up their gameplay a little bit, Hudad and Sons. They have to look into trying to figure out why aren't they making these stops? What is Power of Friendship doing that is getting past them, aside from murder?
Well, that might just be the difference here, because the Banish is set up into KO. Cero and Flambeau are so practiced on that earlier on. It wasn't banishing the pillar, it was banishing the pendulum swing from Cero. And right now, Cliff trying to be the difference maker. Really good primary and really good mix-up from Cero. Well played on Wet for pushing up there, getting the primary right past Cliff, and setting up Cero perfectly for the one-on-one with Pudash.
Yeah, it seems like kind of the whole team coherency thing has almost flipped around entirely, because originally Pudash and Sons were playing very good, very 2-on-1, very aggressive and coordinated offense. And now it seems like it's Power of Friendship's turn to say, like, hey, we've actually got our act together. We know what we're doing. Beautiful flip to stop the offensive attempt by Wolfman. And just another kill, and yeah, maybe we're right. It's just they're killing and they're causing these power plays to happen, and that's just giving Power Friendship a bit of leeway. Again, like you said, like Wedo was moving up, but that's kind of always the downside to playing a forward goalie, and that's risking your backside, risking the barriers. But they only got one taken, which frankly, I don't think they will be like too frustrated about that.
Oh, and a good revive as well. Make sure that Flambeau doesn't go down. Make sure the power play is not there. And an amazing shot across the middle finds the barrier. And now if White can find one more pass, that could just be it. Cliff really low. The coordination, though, not quite there. But they will find the KO in the end. Now Sarah looking for a hook. A little bit obvious with it. But the flip still has to be burned from Wolfgang. Obvious still work there. As, whoa, Tofu Fortress just forces it right through. And they find the saves. Another pillar down to Sarah, who just standing still, looking for the strike, looking for an angle. And Wolfgang, unfortunately, hits it right into Flambeau, who will not give up that opportunity. It is Power Friendship 1 goal away from qualifying to the finale.
Yeah, not much else you can say here. That was just aggressive. That was just aggressive posturing, and honestly making Huda and Sons scared to kind of take any real aggressive action. And like again, right there, they kind of like followed the core a little bit, and they were like, well, "What you gonna do? What are you gonna do?" And it's a lot of intimidation, a lot of psych outs, which frankly is understandable because I mean, look at Wolfgang and Cliff. Wolfgang's a hair from dying. So is Cliff's not doing too hot either, and that's kind of really been the undersung story of this whole match. They just found the offense, Power Friendship, and they've been able to do something with it. But
wait a second.
Well, yeah.
The passing plays could still come through. The Tofu Fortress is blocking half the map. But it's only blocking half the map, not the full map, and now the banish comes through, and maybe this game is just over. Good elusive, perfectly timed. Pudash has flip available, and the passing plays are coming as well, and Wolfgang still surviving somehow. But Flambeau, all it takes is one shot. Cliff is there to save it, but that's the flip burn from Pudash. That's the goalie looking a lot more vulnerable. The passing plays, but the pillar is good, making sure that barrier doesn't fall, but the core speed will. Maybe one more shot could be enough here. But Zero has the flip. Top side, perfect hook. And that will be Power Friendship moving on.
Just stopped it in its tracks, made Pudash guess for game, and he guessed wrong. So, there you have it.
Right. Power Friendship looking good. Pudad and Sons still have another chance in the last chance, the third place match. But for now, it is Power Friendship. Well played.
Yep, not a whole lot else to say about that one. Like, it took them a little bit to get their rhythm going, but once they did, Power Friendship kind of took control of the game and never really let go. Just a lot of good KOs, a lot of good passing, a lot of good core placement. And they managed to survive the bounce house.
All right. Well, looks like we have no break. We're heading right into the next matchup because it's Chikara Eclipse versus Bombs Away. Any thoughts on those rosters?
The Chikara Eclipse?
And Bombs Away. We did see Bombs Away earlier, right?
Yes, we did. We saw Bombs Away earlier. They honestly, I liked what I saw. I liked what I saw from them against Pee Wee Soldiers. And yeah, well, we all know, you know, like Chikara Eclipse, very good. Currently 4-0, and it's for a reason. I mean, Itormi is Itormi. I don't know what else you can say about that. It's Itormi.
Yeah, well, we'll see how Itormi does in this matchup. I think Bombs Away do have the capability to really get past a goalie of that caliber, though. I think the bigger threat are the two forwards, Flowers and Zanseki. That's a little scary to deal with.
Not wrong. I'll admit I am not quite as well as versed with Zanseki. I do know Flowers. I do know Flowers can bring the heat.
Yep. Well, heading right into game. It looks like, okay, we're not heading into game. I lied. But we're about to head into game in a little bit once these teams get set up. And I do expect Jakar Eclipse to do quite well here, especially because of their overwhelming power in the forward duo. But Bombs Away did perform quite well in the game that we saw if they're allowed to run around. And of course, Flowers, right? Big KO player. Not as strong in the core control, and Light Sky and Caramelt are firmly a core control duo, so that's something to look at.
Yeah, it's going to definitely be a situation of who manages to get their game plan going first, I feel. Like, can Flowers start the pain train early, or can Caramel and Light Sky, you know, be able to coordinate around that? Because I feel like Flowers, though, has the slightly easier, you know, win condition, simply because, like we said, like, Caramel and Light Sky are a duo front. You take away one half of that, and that kills a lot of that threat.
We'll have to see how the pick ban goes as well. It's Oni Village as well, which does kill a lot of that KO potential. Flowers hovering the Vice, but might not pick it. It's Oni Village after all, and it's a bit awkward to play here. Zanseki, I'll be wondering what is the pick. Hovering the Juliet, definitely a solid pickup there, but I think prioritizing the Mako is a good choice because that additional mobility will make it a lot easier to play.
Yeah, and it looks like, yeah, Flowers is going the Vice. So, awkward or no, that's what they're doing.
Oh, Zanseki actually swapping to the X on Oni Village. Definitely a choice. Not the most effective pick on this map, but if X is in position, it could be the answer. Flowers, though, hovering the Juno, that might just be the core control answer here. But going back to Comfort, going back to Vice and Drakkar, this is a weird composition. Definitely one of the weirdest Oni compositions of all time, but I think they can make it work.
Yeah, I'm not going to put anything past them. I was about to say, like, if they were going X Juno, then I could see the logic, because, like, Juno would basically make the normally wide open Oni Village into something of a minefield, and X could try and, you know, do X things with a lot of paths of advance or retreat cut off. But with this composition, Vice, Mako, Drakkar, I have to admit, again, I can kind of see what the idea is, but it's hard to put into words for me.
And I think the big thing is, if Orange and Black 5's on point, this comp sucks at scoring. Like, let's be real. Like, these barriers, in theory, should be staying up for basically forever. So it'll really be up to the KOs to do power plays, and Orange and Black, any missteps will be punished.
Yeah, for sure. But wow, just manages to strike it through Orange and Black. First goal for Eclipse.
Yeah, and Flowers positioned to blink perfectly there. Orange and Black 5 not ready. But Caramel, look at that, looking for the barriers early, but a good strike shot by Tormi will prevent that. But once again, Zanseki pushing forward, but it's looking a little bit shaky, this offense. They are finding the bottom barrier, though. But it's all up to the single barrier, right? If Orange and Black 5 can hold this one down, that is how Bombs Away win.
No, yeah, I definitely agree with that, but I am a little bit concerned about said defense. I am a little bit worried that, you know, like, as well as we've seen Orange and Black perform, that I suppose I'm still just trying to kind of, like, figure out what's going on with this Vice Drakkar comp. I'm being real with you. So I'm just trying to... Okay.
Oh, that's awkward. Yeah, okay. So basically, Vice Drakkar, if they get the barriers, they'll take them, but these two are not good barrier takers. Like, a good goalie will just be able to defend against these two by only using strike. No abilities required, basically. And if abilities are used, then that makes it even easier. The main thing is just punishing mistakes, like we saw there. Light Sky got chipped down to a fraction of the remaining stagger, and then just got blasted off the map. So, if Bombs Away are making any mistakes or taking a little bit too much damage, they will get punished.
Yeah, and on the other hand, they finally got both barriers down for Jakar Eclipse, even though they got one of theirs taken in advance. So now it's just a matter of getting the core up and getting it through. Nice strike by Tormi to block that off. And really, it's going to be one of those catch can kind of situations. And what I mean by that is that it's kind of going to be not necessarily aggression that takes it, but manipulation of the situation at hand, if that makes sense.
Yeah, putting them into uncomfortable situations where they could get KO'd even. Tofu Fortress barely goes wide. That's a rough spot for Bombs Away. But they're still pushing forward. The snare drum's coming through. Caramel, though, needs to not get hit by this primary, and Tormi actually targets the core. Weird thing to do when you're playing Vice Drakkar. You should be primarying the players, not the core. And that additional damage really adds up, and that's the win condition for this team.
Yeah, it is, and you can see Flowers has been... I feel like Flowers is trying to play Vice a little offbeat, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
no pun intended.
Flowers is core controlling a lot instead of just putting on the damage when that could be a win condition, but maybe they can win anyway because Caramel is not getting these barriers. Well played by a Tormi, but still a flip available, and Zanseki doesn't use the flip himself. Caramel now trying, but a Tormi and Flowers on the double defense, and now a flip available for Zanseki. Still not using it. So much patience on the flip, and a weird bounce means that it goes to the other side of the map. Another passing play and an early roll. Zanseki finds the shot, and Chikara Eclipse sitting with a 1-0 set lead.
Yeah, so definitely right now it's kind of like you said. It's not so much that, you know, the players are it's not so much that they're steamrolling like the other characters. They're just catching on to mistakes that Bombs Away have been making and just capitalizing nearly immediately. Like that was the story of that entire set.
Yeah, it's gonna be even tougher here because Unstoppable denied. Yeah, that's a very good choice. Making sure the goalie can't get unstoppable is absolutely huge, and of course you get the side benefit of taking a little bit less damage. Castellas as well, great on Orange and Black 5. I think overall, Bombs Away, pretty happy with this draft. Of course, Chikara Eclipse got great awakenings, but after a lost set, Bombs Away, that's a lot of value.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be grumbling too much about like the fight or flight got taken or anything like that. Because what they needed right now is a way to keep the consistency up. And yeah, Unstoppable will help with that. Castellas will help with that. And everybody knows Rasmus likes to feel big. So by all means, solid draft. And you kind of started seeing it. They had both barriers down and they were trying to get like some offense going. So yeah, hopefully they can kind of basically tighten up the ship and make this a little bit more competitive.
Oh, really scary situation there. Caramel going for a long dribble with Tormi. Relies a little bit too much on the strike shot there, and Chikara Eclipse feels like that's a point that they should have won. Bombs Away made plenty of small missteps there to capitalize on, but this time it feels like Bombs Away are a lot more resilient than in the first set.
Yeah, absolutely. So honestly, it's not really something that we can really like talk about like right now. It's something that we're gonna have to view about like once the set ends to see just how they've managed to kind of keep their rhythm, keep their mental, and really figure out a game plan.
Oh, and Caramel with the mind game. Well played with the patience to not strike early there. Tormi expecting the pendulum swing, evades and loses first strike on that. 2-0 up now. Bombs Away, making it happen. The only concern I have right now is that the defensive duo of Bombs Away are losing to Drakkar Shotgun. And ideally, you shouldn't be losing to Drakkar Shotgun.
No, not really. Like, Drakkar is, like we were saying earlier, Drakkar is somebody who should be really... He should not be shooting the core, he should be shooting other opponents. And they've been managing to get away with letting him shoot the core and Vice as well, honestly. Like, just there.
Yeah, and as they find the goal, they do find one, and they do have a lot of meter on Zanseki and a Tormi after all. Maybe an opportunity for a big play, but look at that, the Tofu Fortress just sending it right forward. But Flowers are just getting in there, making sure that these barriers can be taken sometimes, but a good barrage, a good strike, they do return the favor on the other side. But again, the threat of the flip on Zanseki, but the Supernova actually sends it right back, and Caramel now has a big play.
Yeah, tried to get that shot, tried to like redirect it up top, wasn't quite able to get it. Light Sky trying to like do a lot of self-passing, a lot of kind of dribbling, and Zanseki is just there and waiting for it. Not allowing any of that fancy schmancy mind game stuff to happen. It's just like, if the core is there, I will take it. Caramel does finally get that intercept, manages to get both barriers open. So now it's both barriers open for both teams. So now Eclipse needs to try and take this offensive that they have and make it happen. Because Cannonball, I was about to say, Cannonball has been lurking in the back, waiting for it to come his way. And we all know what Rasmus can do if in a one-on-one, which is a very dangerous, very scary situation.
Impressive from Caramel. That was really, really good navigating around the Tormi's defensive option there. What I'm noticing, though, is that it's all about the speed, right? It's Oni Village. Of course it's all about the speed. But with this first pick Rampage here, it might just be about the size because Caramel could take over this game. But what else? I'm so confused by that Aerials pickup. Yes, it is all about the speed, but I think the additional damage of Missile Prop, the additional range of Missile Prop, might have gotten the win condition there for Chikara Eclipse, right? You want to deny the Aerials. You want to deny it away from Kai. But Catalyst is falling down anyway, and you had Missile Prop available. I'm not sure if that was the right play.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. I was about to say, I can understand, like, on instinct, the desire to block aerials from the Kai, but with Catalyst right there, they're not going to care. He's just going to shrug and be like, okay, you got aerials, you got slightly longer guns, but you're usually closing distance anyway, so it doesn't really do a whole lot for you, so I'll just take Catalyst. Now, mind you say that, and the Kai's dead, so who knows? Maybe they know something I don't.
Well, the Rasmus is the one who's dead. The Kai is still living for the moment, and Light Sky is building up a lot of meter here with all the touches on the core. A flip might be what changes the fate of this point here as Flowers pushes forward. And again, defensive mishaps from bombs away. These are autopilot things that they're messing up here on the defense, and it's really getting punished. Flowers with the vice on Oni Village is managing to score in those situations when she really shouldn't be allowed to. Let's be real.
Yeah, no, it's just very good. Honestly, a lot of this is really just good basics from Chikara Eclipse, and not so good basics, let's say, from Bombs Away. Which is weird because we saw them play really well last game.
Yeah, I think Zanseki and Flowers are just way more familiar with the fundamentals of Omega Strikers, and it's really showing here. Orange and Black 5, another preemptive strike. You can't be preemptively striking that situation, and now Flowers has a strike war, and Flowers has a goal. Oh, Bombs Away. We need to work on these strike mechanics.
Yeah, this is a go back, watch the tapes, and run some scrims and figure out what happened there. I mean, well. Again, it should be fairly obvious what's happening here because, like, it's not, like, super complicated. But, still got to go back and learn anyway. Like, right there, a little bit much. Zanseki manages to flip, get it past him for the barrier. And now they are about to be in scoring position. Flowers trying to move it up with Zanseki, moving it, trying to between them. They do manage to interrupt. Caramel does manage to get a barrier. So, hey, this is something like, that is a big honking Rasmus.
Oh, no. Oh, but Orange and Black 5 delays the strike enough, finds a save, shot to the top side, Caramel. The mechanics on point here, bringing Bombs Away potentially back into this one. If they can shore up the defense, Bombs Away have plenty of offense if Caramel's playing like that. We'll see if they can do it here.
Yeah, that's kind of been the issue for now. Like, Caramel, once they get on the puck, sure, but not. I don't know why that core was not deflected, sure. But yeah, at this point, it's Eclipse's game to lose, really.
Yeah, or you could also say it's Bombs Away's game to bring back in their favor somehow, but Supernova looking scary. The barrier's opened up now. Caramel needs to be the hero, but misses the dribble, and it goes back to Flowers, who has a flip on the top side. Amazing hit stun by Light Sky, perfectly in the moment, and now with the flip available, Caramel in the corner. Flowers flips first, but Caramel! Oh, what confidence! Caramel. Doesn't even flip, doesn't even flinch.
Okay, maybe you're entirely right, because Caramel has been making play after play and score after score, and really, like, looking at it, it's tied up. It's one game apiece now that I'm looking at it. It's one set apiece. So it's really, I suppose it's not as bad as I was thinking it was. This match has kind of felt long. I suppose is the thing. Is it just me?
Yeah, well, it's Oni Village. Of course it's feeling long, but I get what you mean. Like, some of the points are really fast, and then some of the points go for what seems like forever, so that kind of whiplash makes it feel like a very weird game in terms of time frame. What I'm focusing on here, though, is Caramel needs to stay alive. Before, if they die before using this flip, it's over. It's curtains for Bombs Away. That's the set lost, and so much chip damage being poured onto Caramel. Caramel, you got to flip here. It is used. Goes for a primary, but you can't be doing that. No good goalie ever loses to that, and Tormi is good enough there. Tormi still defending the top barrier. Caramel trying to push it forward, and that will be enough to find the barrier. Light Sky pushing forward for the goal as Caramel goes back to regen. Bombs Away might have found what they needed, but again, an early strike by Orange and Black 5 will give Jakara Eclipse another opportunity as the core speed picks up. Good dribble by Orange and Black 5. Good weight. Doesn't burn the strike too early. Needs to cover the bottom side. And a log to the bottom, but Tormi has a strike shot. Caramel now needs to be the hero. Try going for it. Finds it. Has so much size, but no. It is once again the core going to Zanseki. Caramel now. No shot available, but another opportunity. And this time, it will be enough. Bombs Away survive. They somehow make it past the set.
Okay, so the lesson that we learned on this set, or at least I learned on this set, don't count them out yet. They pulled it back. Caramel with some excellent plays, some excellent angles, and they get rewarded with that extra special. That's gonna be a lot of death touches, don't you know?
And especially good as a deny against Flowers, trying to make sure that the additional supernovas are not quite there. Some sparks picked up as well, but my eyes are on the chrono boost from Light Sky. That's a lot of speed, and also the explosive entrance from a Tormi, giving a lot of speed to the team. It is Oni Village. You got to watch those speed awakenings. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, both sides I feel got some really good awakenings there, some really good drafts. So it's honestly, for me, it's hard to tell who got the better of it, and frankly, I think this basically just steps up the intensity of the entire match to like another level, because like both teams got some much needed stuff that they wanted.
Yeah, my eyes still on Caramel, right? Star player of the team has been making mechanical outplays, but Light Sky and Orange and Black 5 this time they play the defense very well. Make sure that Flowers and Zanseki cannot find the barrier to get the clear out and give Caramel another opportunity here. Going for the strikes, but the secondary runs out, not quite. And once again, Jakara Eclipse are chasing, finding the open barrier, and their aim, their strikes are on point.
Yes, very good log to try and like push it away, but Flowers manages to get. Flowers trying to like push for him. I've noticed that Flowers doing a whole lot of just interception and very aggressive pushing. Very nice roll to stop it. Caramel trying to sneak it past the Tormi. Tormi says no. Overall, surprisingly back and forth. Beautiful with Caramel. I believe that was the Whiplash coming out to force it through.
I think it was the Whiplash afterwards, but I don't think Caramel even needed the Whiplash. I think it just had enough speed to barely make it to the other side of the Mako secondary. Not something you see every day. But now Light Sky looking solid on the offense, but Zanseki and Flowers have recognized the game plan. They need to kill Caramel, but they don't have the cooldowns to do so just yet. And now Caramel, if they can take this barrier here, great barrage from Light Sky. Caramel could flip this in, but a weird back pass slows the momentum for just a moment. But Caramel has regen. Light Sky is dribbling. The additional energy generation might come in clutch as Caramel now with the flip available. Flip in front of the net. This time the pendulum swing is good. And there's 1 point away. Bombs Away. What a massive turnaround.
Very impressive. Yeah, they figured out the game plan, and now they're executing. And now you see, like you said, like Light Sky doing a whole lot of excellent support, a lot of well-timed barrages, a lot of just well-timed being in the right place at the right time. Weird little stare down there. I always love the little stare downs, like who's gonna flinch first. But in this case, doesn't really matter. It's Eclipse that managed to get the offense going. Managed to nice flip denial right there. Managed to keep that offense going. So now what we've got is they are trying to figure out how to get past this defense. A lot of back passes, a lot of dribbling, a lot of trying to wait for the optimal time instead of trying to be a little bit too aggressive. Like I was like, Caramel is waiting. He's big, huge. and lurking in the backfield. So now's the time to push. Beautiful Giga Blast to get the barrier.
And now Caramel, big opportunity, bottom side. No cooldowns available. Tormi backs away from it. There's no hustle there from Tormi. Just walked away from it after thinking it was over, but it bounced on the corner. Tormi had a chance to strike for that. Bombs away. What a massive victory. But Tormi just gave up.
What was going through Tormi's head, I wonder. But regardless of what the answer to that is, goes on record.
Bombs away. What a performance. Caramel, 10 goals. What a masterclass in offense. And, of course, Light Sky and Orange and Black 5 came alive when it mattered.
Yes. Like, Orange and Black 5 started shaky. Really did. And had definite, like, I won't even sugarcoat it, had doubts, had concerns. But they did shape up, and they tightened up the defense, and they made the critical saves when they really needed to. So, hey, bombs away. Keep at it. Keep at it.
Well, final finale qualifier left after this. It's going to be Pudat and Sons versus Chikara Eclipse. Well, they're both Chikara teams. We'll see what happens. Going to go to a short break. Don't go anywhere. And we'll see you then.
Right on.
Hello everyone, we're back and we're ready heading into game Chikara Pudat and Sons versus Chikara Eclipse. Bit of a Civil War showdown here.
Yep, we've seen both of these in action before, so it's really just going to come down to who knows who better. We've got Pudat and Sons rocking the Atlas, rocking the Rune, rocking the Asher. A lot of defensive, a lot of transitory capability. A lot of, like being able to shift from defense to offense at the drop of a hat if they go with those three.
Yeah, Atlas banned away, but they take away the Vice of Flowers, and we're on Clarion. This is a very different map from Oni Village, to the point where I think Chikara Eclipse will be looking a lot better. I'm not sure why they left Oni open, because I'm pretty sure, like, looking at the players on their team, that has to be their worst map by a mile.
Maybe they was feeling froggy, who knows? But we can see Aimi and Mako come out, and that is a little bit more stock, a little bit more. Yeah, we can kind of see the flashes of the game plan, especially like in Clarion. Oh, hold on. I'm terrible, sorry.
But looking at triple creations over on Pudat and Sons, though, like you said, they're going to have a very good time going from defense to offense, especially at the drop of a hat, putting down a pillar maybe to find some follow-up. And on the other side, Zanseki on the Signature X, Flowers on the Aimi. That's going to be an interesting duo to play against in terms of damage. Pudat and Sons are going to have to watch out.
Yeah, for sure. X is X, and Aimi can come right out of nowhere. Although, from kickoff, it's Flowers that took a little bit of hurt, though they take a barrier also in exchange. So, yeah, right now, it's definitely going to be a matter of... is Zanseki and Flowers will they be able to get that damage train going? And... if so, it's going to be a long and painful road for Eclipse, but we know what Eclipse can do. So they just have to watch out and play around.
Yeah, speaking of being played around, Wolfbane just won a strike war against two people.
Yeah. I don't know what you say about that, because Asher being able... don't get me wrong, Asher being able to win a strike war, that's nothing new under the sun. But... two people ready and waiting, that had to have caught some people by surprise.
And not the greatest defensive play by Chikara Eclipse, but they have Prize Fighter, right? That's a win condition. But the issue is, Flowers is the one taking 1 million damage right now. I'm not sure if they're going to stack up Prize Fighter. They might be the ones losing their Prize Fighter stack.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like Flowers at the very least does not have Prize Fighter, so they don't have to worry about losing anything. They took build different. But
they did? Wait, Flowers took build different?
Yes, Flowers took build.
Oh,
Flowers took build different.
Huh. That's an interesting choice.
Yeah, it's Zanseki and Itormi at the very. Presuming my screen is not glitched, it's Zanseki and Itormi with the prize fighters.
Why? Wait, what? Why did Itormi take it? Why did Flowers not take it if that's their win condition? I'm so confused by that decision here. But Zanseki does find a barrier. It's really going to be up to whether they can stop Wolfmang, because Wolfmang, similar to the previous game, right? It's the Brawlers have told the story, and this one is no different.
Yep, and interesting banish there. Tries to set up and push things away from the goal. Flowers, regardless of, honestly, prize fighter or no, it's still Aimi. Aimi can still go on offense almost at will, so the game plan is still a game plan. It just may not be as effective.
Yeah, with the core traveling at an awkward speed around the map, trying to find a bounce to the top side. Wolfmang loses control of it for a moment. And Zanseki and Flowers approach on both sides of the map, but Wolfmang burning a lot of abilities, burning all the abilities, trying to move the core up the field, but Cliff is winning so many strike wars here. It's looking good for the offense if that's going to happen. Good banish, but not much found off of it. And a big KO. That's the first prize fighter stack on the board for Zanseki, I believe.
Yep, Zanseki, Itormi both at 2 prize fighter stacks somehow. So definitely going to be scaling and scaling and scaling and just doing X things. Like, look at that bell ringer that just cleared them out, and now Cliff is very hurting.
Oh.
And you see, Ivy tried to go for that, tried to go for the kill, but still manages to keep the offense up. Tofu Fortress manages to block things off for a little bit, so a lot of back and forth here, a lot of pain being thrown back and forth between the two sides as well. A lot of
What a good flick by Flowers to the bottom corner, though. Out of all of that, Cliff survived for so long, but Flowers finds an opportunity and just secures the goal.
Yes, it's just going to be like this is becoming like a very interesting game, honestly, just in terms of who is expected to do what, who can execute among some really odd circumstances. Like, I'm still kind of reeling a little bit at Flowers just not going for a prize fighter. But to be fair, it does seem to have paid off a bit, as well as, hey, Itormi does have 2 stacks of prize fighter. Cliff is near dead, so maybe there's something going on here.
2 barriers found so quickly, though. Wolfmang, what a brilliant offensive play, and Pudash has been stellar on the defense, was amazing last point despite the point loss, and is continuing to make sure neither barrier falls. And Itormi forced to burn the flip. That pillar was already forming by the time it was struck into. And now Wolfmang, world is their oyster, just forces it through the top side. Pudat and Sons looking solid as they head on to the next set.
Very, very impressive defensive effort from Pudash, I have to say. Just made sure that, like you said, nothing got past it. Asher with some good redirects, with some good, basically, rhinoing it through, and reward it with Rampage. So that's just going to make things a whole lot more hellacious on their end.
Yeah, and stacks on stacks actually picked up here. Not denying extra special, not taking extra special. Flowers really trying to find a little bit of core control somehow. But extra special going to be so good for Pudash in terms of extra defensive potential. And I don't know. I feel like Pudat and Sons, I feel like they're in position to win this game. Of course, that's calling it way too early, right? But they're in a very good spot. They try to set up a crazy combo onto Zanseki. They're trying to bounce him onto the Tofu Fortress and back into the pillar.
They nearly handmade a bounce house by themselves, and it almost worked. That is insane. But Zanseki is the one who has the last laugh. Just has to remind everybody, I am still X. I am still a threat. Get out of my way. Very nice, just forcing it through with the bell ringer.
Yeah, had the super surge there as well to slide right in. Cliff on the bottom side, though, trying to set up some pillar plays. Itormi burning a lot of cooldowns, but good saves on the barriers, and we're kind of starting to see the effect of the additional speed on Flowers, making that midfield a lot easier to deal with. And Cliff, on the other hand, looking a lot more immobile in comparison.
Yeah, Flowers is able to get to the core a lot easier and just basically shut down a lot more offensive capabilities. I mean, I say that, though, as they get one barrier and, wow, just absolutely annihilated that time.
The explosive KO found as the defense does come in for Pudash and Cliff, though. They're looking solid in that aspect, but a dash and a flip from Flowers takes out the rune, and the power play only continues. Pudash almost taken out by the Mako, and Zanseki, good buying of space to make sure Pudash can't even get in range to flip that one.
Yeah, no, I'm starting to worry now that Eclipse has kind of figured out, oh, that's what we need to do. We just kill them. And that's how they win. Brawlers get it done, as ever, as always. So, wow, but Wolfmang does get the orb, so that is a really big Asher, but that is also an almost dead Asher. Very close. Has to kind of like hang back in the backfield. Zanseki hunting for the kill, had to flip. Now they're both slugging it out, both very, very low. It's just who gets first. Tries to flip to save, but no dice, no dice.
Oh,
Once
wait.
again, another power play.
Oh,
What?
Cliff almost finds the 1v1 versus Itormi, but that pillar not enough range, just short. Banish goes wide as well, but thanks to Cliff's attempt on the other side, that means that there's a lot more space for Pudat and Sons. The respawn comes in, Cliff and Wolfmang are pushing up, and wait a second, suddenly this point looks favorable for them.
Yeah, there is a opportunity. There is something there. They have an option. They need to keep away from Zanseki. Zanseki is staying in the backfield, very, very trusting that Flowers is going to get the core and get it to him. I don't know if that was quite like the best play, because that allows like Wolfgang and Cliff to basically like recover from the offensive attempt, and now things are a little bit back and forth. Really beautiful flip deny though. It's just a lot of back and forth. And right now Eclipse is trying their best to force things through, and it's not happening. Very good defense by Boudad and Sons.
Yeah, and Cliff finds the bottom side, looking for a pillar, looking for the timing, but Flowers is solid on the defense, and the Tormy is as well. Weird bounces coming out, but Strike War is won by Cliff. The turret going to send it forward just enough as Pudash once again still maintaining this barrier, and the banish comes through. Flowers pushed a little bit too far, but somehow manages to get a strike on it. Somehow still surviving here. Wolfmang flip, not enough to find the KO.
Zanseki tries to take Cliff's head off, as massive as they were, and now it's just been this incredible back and forth and a very heavy defensive show here. They are not letting this go. Flowers having to play additional goalie, flip by Zanseki to push it out, and this is just back and forth. I am not sure who is going to take this goal, but with Zanseki just taking out Wolfmang, that might be the break that they need if they can push this. If they can push this power play, which Pudash is not letting them happen. Cliff is not letting it happen. Beautiful hold by the both of them. Although Cliff just paid for it. So again, power play. There's been a lot of power playing going on the side of Eclipse, but they've managed to hold Boudad and Sons, and I'm very impressed. Although I also just commentators cursed them.
Yeah. Zanseki manages to convert. It's 1-1. Move on to the draft, and Flowers managing to get first pick here. Big pickups available. Fight or Flight is what catches my eye, but Perfect Form and Timeless Creator are also the big power picks here. Stagger Swagger would be so valuable on one of the forwards of Boudad and Sons as well, so it's probably going to be denied away here unless Spark is what's being scaled, but no, it is denied away properly. And as we head later into the draft, the Timeless Creator going to put in so much work for the rune and a little bit of Spark scaling perhaps.
Yeah, Asher ends up with the Spark of Agility, which, hey, Asher's never going to say no to speed, but that also brings up a threat of future Sparks. So definitely something I feel like to watch out for. We're all tied up. This draft is going to be this upcoming draft is going to be very major, and you can tell neither team is going to want to give this up, because this might be the breakaway that they need. Pudash, nice, just crushes him against the side. Zanseki.
Yeah, big KO now, and now Wolfmang has plenty of time to regen without the pesky X existing on the map. He does come back, but gets stopped in the corner. Now Cliff's the one bearing the brunt of the damage. Just damage pressure really coming into play for Eclipse as Wolfmang manages to hold the core though. Cliff though still not able to regen, but looking for a good strike, not quite enough.
Yeah, barely manages to hold that barrier. And commentator cursed again. Wow. Need to watch what I say, but Wolfmang doesn't mind it, certainly. Finds the angle, gets it past the Tormy, and they take the early lead for this set.
Yeah, if they can play like that, if Cliff can get opportunities like that, it's great. And on this variant, which they've been good on with the additional creations, this variant's been very solid. Wolfmang, what a KO to find at that moment. Now they can push forward confidently. Pass to the top side of Tormy, doesn't have the range to keep up. A flip to the top side, keeping it contained is Wolfmang. As it slips away for a moment, it's saved away again, and Eclipse managed to escape without both barriers going down.
Yeah, Bounce House almost caused a little bit of a cascading disaster for Eclipse, but they do manage to save it. They do manage to get that one barrier. Very good in snare drums, followed up by a very quick banish from Cliff. So a lot of back and forth, a lot of defensive competition, but no, Boudad and Sons, they're open now, so it's going to be on Eclipse to try and push this before their own barrier gets taken and the situation evens out again.
Oh, Wolfmang, brilliant play, catching the core, keeping it in possession. Zanseki has the flip, but if the core never gets to Zanseki, what a shot by Wolfmang, what a pass from Cliff, perfectly played by Boudad and Sons.
Yeah, very. Zanseki has been doing this for a lot of the game, kind of like staying forward and basically trusting that Itormi and Flowers are going to get the core to him, where he can just kind of like run rampant. And it nearly bit him in the backside once before, and it did bite him in the backside that time.
Yeah, the core control superiority of Pudad and Sons is really coming into play. The damage from Eclipse is definitely a factor, but as long as Pudad and Sons can stay alive, they're the ones who are striking better. They're the ones who are moving better, and it's really showing here.
Yeah, it's very much a situation. Ooh, wow, never mind. Wolfman manages to basically wall off Itormi, which allows Cliff and Pudash, I feel like, to push that one through. That's what that looked like to me.
Yeah, what wonderful play from Wolfmang. Perfectly snipes at Flowers. Needed to press the evade key, but didn't quite have it there. And now some spark scaling is coming in, going for some strength here. But Egoist and Catalyst are going to fall down to maybe later in the draft, because these two are powerful awakenings, and with the alternating pick order, you can just pass it by and let one of your teammates get one of them. They're really passing this one down here. Oh, are they going to double pick the energy? No, actually, they just give the energy completely?
They just...
Huh?
Shrug.jpg?
I think Zanseki getting Catalyst is so dangerous, because that guy, even if he's not KOing, that guy's hitting people a ton. And that guy's already at Flip. Look at that. Zanseki basically has Flip already.
Flip from word go. Dead on the parts of Wolfmang. That was crazy. Zanseki already, like you said, like Zanseki already has Flip. I'm kind of baffled they let that one go, and that might have been kind of that might be the turning point for this. I mean, look at the aggression that they're able to show now. They've got both barriers down to Eclipse, and they could be a threat to score. Cliff is big though, so that could never mind. Cliff is dead. This is getting really bloody really fast.
Yeah, Flowers dying there is really bad for Eclipse, though. They really depend on the Aimi to shore up the midfield even a little bit, and now it's going to be a tough defense, but they manage to get through it. Cliff in position, finds the Banish, and again, no elusive comes out on the max range Banish. That's a big factor here. Teams that can evade versus Rune and teams that can't. It's a night and day difference in terms of gameplay.
Yes, very. And of course flying out. Of course, flying all over right now thanks to overtime. And Tormi managing to keep that barrier up come hell or high water at the very least. So they have to try and find some way to clear the rabble out. And yeah, killing Cliff will help stop those barriers from coming up. So now is the time for Eclipse to push and basically kind of lock this away. Weird flip by Flowers, does not quite get the core. Ends up burning it. Wolfman is looking low, and it seems like Aimi is kind of hunting for that kill. Very interesting firewall placement with the barriers. Wolfman on kind of like their last legs has to retreat for a little bit. Barrier comes out, making Itormi have to make a very awkward dribble, but the dribble they do. Crazy back and forth. Beautiful counter by Zanseki. Punches it through Pudash, and that was a wild point.
Oh, bit of a defensive misplay from Pudash. Could have struck it down, but instead struck it right into Zanseki. Plenty of time to react to the core flip. Great play by Zanseki, but that could have been a point for Pudad and Sons if the defense was there. Flowers, though, converting very quickly despite the barrier going down. But a great banish. Wait a second. Double pillar around the world, and Zanseki stays alive.
He's alive. I mean, look at there's so many like near dead people. That's one gone. Wolf is down. Cliff is near dead. Zanseki still not doing too good. I'm still kind of like reeling from that Zanseki going around the world. Bounce house.
Yeah, but
in total, just crazy.
It's still a very winnable point for Pudad and Sons, but a pass comes down. Well played from Flowers. The banish is good, but again, it's an open net. An open net could be a death sentence on the bounce house. Wolfmang almost dying, staying alive barely, trying to find a strike with Cliff, and they do find it. Somehow, once again, Pudad and Sons create magic on the bounce house, and they're the ones who take the point.
Yeah, Wolfmang dies for it, but it seemed like Eclipse were almost so concentrated on like we got the KO that they forgot that the core was still in play, y'all. Core is still going. So it just kind of like slipped on by below him.
Pass play up to Flowers, but the Ruined Pillar stops for a moment, but Zanseki's in position, goes for a strike reset, but a great clear by Pudash will limit it to just one barrier. Almost has a flip to use on the defense, needs to be very careful of this Zanseki flip though. And the perfect Tofu Fortress, completely neutralized, 2 pillars. Zanseki, no way you're getting through that one. Wolfmang and Cliff, top side, looking for a dribbling play, but Zanseki, wait a second. Almost has the core again as Wolfmang sends it below, but it goes to Zanseki. Good strike shot by Pudash will stop it for the moment. And now the offense starts for Pudad and Sons to log the pillar, 1 barrier, almost 2. Pudad and Sons, you called it when you said that they were so good at transitioning from defense to offense. That's exactly what they're doing all game.
Yeah, and kind of that's kind of what they have to do in order to keep this constant pressure, this constant attack strategy from Eclipse, kind of like from firing on all cylinders, from going on the back front, got the pillar, and now again it's Pudash and Sons with an opportunity to score. So they have to try and get it around, and again they lose a member, but very nearly score because the core is up. They had the core control, and now it's Eclipse that has to hold.
Yeah, every time Eclipse gets a big KO like that, they're just out of position, it feels like. They make a misstrike, they make a misplay, or it's Pudad and Sons who are on the offense early enough to prevent a play coming out from them. These power plays have been so frequent, but they've been so ineffective from Eclipse. It's like damage and then where's the strikes? And right now, the barrier is still standing for Pudash, who has been excellent on the defense so far. Zanseki's not going to receive the core at all. They're playing keep away so well here, and all it takes is one good pillar, one good shot from Wolfmang, and the point will be over, and it will be a massive lead for Pudad and Sons. Zanseki to the top side, finally taking the barrier, maybe an opportunity here, but Cliff, shot to the bottom side, no, not quite yet, and Pudash is building a flip of their own, a perfect banish, but that might not be great actually, because Zanseki and Flowers are just setting up, taking so much damage though, and it's such an awkward point.
Yeah, it's just been a real back and forth, but Cliff manages to catch the rebound. Zanseki can't swing quite in time. They get the score. They are on match point.
And Zanseki and Flowers, it's like they used to be KO one tricks, right? They used to be completely KO one tricks. Like now they're much better players. They're well-rounded players, but I think Pudad and Sons are playing well enough that they feel like they're KO one tricks. They're just not striking. That they're not on point on the level of mechanics that is required to win this game. There's a power play, but they're not losing a barrier. Finally, they lose one. Finally, they lose two. I might have cursed it a little too hard. I might have been a bit of an Eclipse fan with that one.
Yeah, but no, you're not wrong. And hey, they shake right back two on their own. They're saying, nope, we're not out of this just yet. They're trying to keep, and now they have to keep the core up. Zanseki trying to lurk, has been trying to lurk all game, but like we said earlier, they've realized that. Pudash and Son realized it, and their whole game has been playing keep away from Zanseki. So it's a matter of, yeah, that'll help a lot. But the flip missed barely. Lovely banish, lovely pillar, goes away. They 1 on 3. Can Cliff make a miracle happen? No.
If Cliff managed to score there, Chikara Eclipse would never beat the KO one trick allegations. But they survive.
Yeah. I would have probably like had to take off my headset for a little bit just to like scream about it. But good start for Pudash. They get a barrier. They've been getting these barriers with pretty fair consistency, honestly. Almost manages to save that top barrier, Pudash, but not quite. Flip to come out to take it away because Wolfmang was lurking there. Wolfmang was about to bullet through. Wolfmang is dead though for that transgression, and they have to move on these power plays. Like you said, they have not really been very effective on these power plays. It's been Pudad and Sons that have been aggressive on these power plays for Eclipse, and they nearly got another barrier. Some very nice pillars being placed by Cliff.
Is Cliff the best player in Omega Strikers? Because that guy is 1v3ing the entire team of Chikara Eclipse. It's a core control masterclass from the rune, and the barrier still stands. Looking for an attempt here. Zanseki flips. It's not enough. It's somehow defended away, and now Wolfbane gets the barrier. This game is basically over. If they can find one more shot, they find the power play still, and they do take out the critical rune, and they do find the barrier, but Wolfbane has one more chance. A dribble to the top side, not quite enough, and well played from Flowers to keep Chikara Eclipse alive. That was so incredibly close.
That was inches away from being over. But time to calm down just a little bit, because yes, Eclipse managed to make it through, and we've still got another spark on deck. But for the X, on the other hand, Knife's Edge, I can definitely understand that. Team player for Dubu, Aimi gets the spark of resilience. That's definitely going to help with the constant dying. Also,
importantly, that's a deny, because I don't think Flowers has gotten KO'd from damage like ever. It's just a deny to make sure that they can continue KOing Wolfmane. Otherwise, that would have been way too much stagger to eat through. Prime time is great as well, but triple spark would have been game over.
Yeah, no, I was actually about to say, but that's the other thing. The important thing was, yeah, that deny from Wolfman, because like 3 sparks, like you said, that's scary business. And right now, it seems like the scary ones might. Eclipse trying to remind us they are scary, because they have both barriers taken down. Goals open for Puda and Sons, but I don't think Puda and Sons are ready to give this up just yet. They're still definitely fighting. They're still pushing, and that's one barrier down. And Cliff has been doing some incredible work with the core this entire game. And if they can keep that up, they are still plenty in this, but can't do that if they're dead.
Yeah, that's a critical KO, because Cliff was winning almost every strike war there. And a great strike shot too, but an amazing aim from Flowers right on the corner. And that's a huge swing, right? Because Puda and Sons have won this variant of Clarion, the bounce house, almost every time. And now they're on the most Eclipse favored variant. This is the damage one.
Yep, this is Eclipse's time to just eliminate the team. And right there, Cliff down almost immediately. Flip tries to push it through, doesn't quite get it, however. Man, Pudash has really been on point with trying to save these. Flip kind of burnt. Sanzeki tries to get it as well. They get one barrier for their troubles. Very, 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 very aggressive Eclipse. I think they realize that this is their opportunity too. Nice little stare down. So it's going to be a matter of, can Pudash and Sons recover from this loss, from basically recover their mental from like the we almost had it mentality, because you know that can always be a downer. So they have to make sure that they're still on top of their game. They still are able to like execute their game plan, and try to make sure that even with all the I forgot the term.
Okay, well, forget about that, because Wolfmane has been staggered for like 10 seconds. It finally gets KO'd. That's basically like a 30-second death timer. Wolfmane, that guy didn't get to do anything this point. Flowers now sets up a perfect flip for Zanseki. Looks for the reset. Not quite enough. Great pillar from Cliff. And once again, it's saved away for the moment. A flip available through the Tofu Fortress and through to Zanseki somehow. Eclipse now, despite being so down, they're only one goal away from taking the game.
Yeah, that was a wild series of bounces, and Pudash just couldn't quite find it there.
Yeah, and once again, now they're pushing forward. Cliff has been so solid on the core control, but the damage focus has been so good, making sure that Cliff can't play comfortably. I mean, good strike wars you got there. Too bad you can't strike when you're dead, that kind of thing.
Yeah, very much like that seems to have been the answer that they found. Just target the Cliff and make sure he can't execute. He can't get those amazing passing plays. He can't get that amazing core control off. They're trying to figure things out. Just like keep their offense from being able to execute.
Speaking of keeping them off, that's Wolfmane going down as well. The power plays continue, and Zanseki perfectly lines up. Only one more shot's required, and that's a Super Surge dash. Chikara Eclipse, bit of a nail biter. Bit of a scary game when Pudan and Sons won every strike war, but they realized that they could just KO them.
Yeah, it took a while. It took a while to clue into it, but they finally figured out who's the who's the dangerous folks on the team, and at that point, they were just like, get him.
Yeah, I think that was a really good showing for Pudat and Sons. Like, I'm impressed to the point where I would be surprised if they don't qualify next week.
100%.
Chikara Eclipse, of course, making it here, but let's be real, like, this roster, pretty big expectations, right? Like, if they didn't make it, that would have been a surprise.
It would have been an upset. Yes, I agree with that. Like I was saying earlier, I was thinking Flowers was going to just like KO everyone, like you said, kind of earlier, like KO one tricks, but they have definitely improved. We saw a lot more teamwork. We saw a lot more passing plays, a lot more collaboration on defense too.
Yeah, but we are reaching the end of the stream here. Congratulations to Chikara Eclipse, the Power of Friendship, and Bombs Away for qualifying for the finale. And well played. We'll see you tomorrow for OSAS, I believe. So see you, everyone.
Peace out.